Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures back in negative territory this morning in a big way. Right across the board, we're seeing steep declines as renewed fears over virus concerns raise the sell limit once again. A lot of traders heading to the sidelines as we head into the second last week of 2020, second strain or a new strain of the coronavirus quickly spreading across the UK, raising fears over travel-related stocks. Once again, we'll talk about those and sending those stay-at-home stocks higher in the pre-market. We'll get to that coming up as well. Meanwhile, we finally got a deal done when it comes to stimulus coming out of Washington. $900 billion deal announced on Saturday. We'll talk to Mark Roberts coming up here, get his take on what that means exactly, and specifically for the travel names, because there is money in there for the airlines that we need to figure out what to do with. We also got FDA emergency use authorization for Moderna's vaccine back on Friday. So now 2 vaccines available for the public throughout the U.S. We'll have a look at Moderna's stock coming up. Tesla, obviously on watch, being added to the S&P 500 at the close on Friday. Boeing to the downside. There's a congressional Senate report that's suggesting there was some inappropriate training when it comes to the 737 MAX and the ungrounding procedure it went through. Stay-at-home stocks, as I mentioned, and also some of the travel names going to be in play today. It's Monday, December 21st, 2020. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go. Look at Asian markets from the overnight session. You can see India, the worst off here, 3+% to the downside. Everything else mostly negative outside of Korea that did end just slightly positive. Let's go over to Europe, see how things are shaping up. Yeah, big time numbers here right across the board. 3+% now for the most part, top to bottom. 2.5% for England there. You can see the Swiss market faring a little better. Pretty ugly, though, to start over in Europe. Let's go over to North America and see more of the same here. Only 1+% for the most part, top to bottom here, but still big time negativity coming in this morning. The TSX futures here in Toronto, 1.2% to the downside. Brazil's open trading 2% lower. We have Bitcoin to the downside this morning. Crude off 4% on travel fears. So we should look at some of the energy names coming up and gold as well. Yeah, in negative territory. Here we go again, guys. It's coronavirus version 2, I guess, or the second strain spreading across the UK, raising some travel fears. And also, what does this mean overall for the market? We'll kind of dig into that over the next hour or so. Welcome, everyone. If you're joining us for the first time, going to be an interesting one, guys. We have lots of names in play so far today.
Yeah, absolutely. You said, obviously, Corona 2.0, whatever you want to call it. Restrictions over in London. We just got that stimulus deal, so obviously there was a bit of a piece of pie in there for the airlines, and now they're all coming back in. So you're going to see heavy selling so far in pre-market in a lot of the travel names, and it looks like the cruise lines hit a little bit harder. We had Tesla, which was an unbelievable ride in the afternoon on Friday with its addition. Trading back about 5% right now, so it looks like that whole sell, the event could be in play like was sort of anticipated here. It is a holiday shortened week, so we got to get 4 days worth of trading. 5 days worth of trading into that 4 this week. I think we'll have no trouble doing that. But so far this morning, Sean, the real story for me, I'm looking at this CCL here, and it looks like one of the biggest movers.
Yeah, 3.5 days trading. So we got to get a lot more energy going this week than before. But look, it's going to be a little bit of a quiet week most likely, but never quite on the news front. Today we have lots happening, as we just talked about that. We're going to be looking at CCL here, the imbalance locator already. I don't know, it's not too bad right now. We got GE, we got CCL. Other than that, it's pretty good. Nothing else really happening. A couple buys, but nothing. A lot of big sells. And we'll just look to see some of these names. Our watch list is out. It's hot. There's lots going on today. Square, Bitcoin, lots happening. Banks, big bank buybacks today as well. I don't see any of them on here, but here, let's just go, for example, JP Morgan already up today. A couple percentage points. You're going to see right here. Where is it going to load? There it is. 3.5% up. JP Morgan, 123 and change. Now allowed to buy back. So we'll see some more buybacks coming from these banks, and it should be a good one, especially if you're a holder of the bank. but I'm getting a little bit worried about some of these equity positions and wondering about pairing some off into this coronavirus, what are we calling it, strain 2.0 or something?
Yeah, big moves for the banks following those stress tests aftermarket on Friday. So we'll have a look at those coming up. Should be an interesting day on the banking front. Before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Valeria.
Good morning, Brendan, and hello, traders. Happy Monday, everyone. Please subscribe to this channel, share the link with friends, and destroy the like button. Let's get it started, Brendan.
Yeah, we're going to jump right into things here. We'll get into what is moving around in the pre-market as we do every morning. But yeah, I want to show you this list to start things off. Top 10 traders list, and this is what is possible, guys, when you have an index change like the one we saw on Friday at the close coming on the NASDAQ, obviously, with Tesla. So big number here for number one today, $295,000 coming out of a whole bunch of markets on Friday. You can see number two even made it to the six-figure club, 122,000, Amex and the NASDAQ. More and more, I mean, we got to go all the way down to number 9 before you get out of that five-figure club. So really nice day, really nice numbers for traders here at Day Trade the World. That was a big deal. Let's, talk about it, guys. Why don't we start things off when we have a look at Tesla, how it played out. When it comes to the close on Friday, it was very, very volatile, to say the least, going into the number. Specifically, once the number came out in the right direction, it was off to the races.
Just before we jump in here, it looks like GameStop just made a bit of a move to the upside. Big shareholder disclosing, RC Ventures disclosing a 13% stake. So GameStop on the move there. The story with Tesla, you say volatility, and it was crazy the way it's got sold off. And then we talked about it in the show. There was likely an opportunity as it might get sold into that imbalance coming out. It was even a stronger sell than I think was anticipated, at least certainly for me, and then bounced off this 20 to 30 area rather heavily. Eventually, we closed at 695. I know it's hard to see because there were all these dark pool late reporting prints that came up here. But you essentially had an 11% range in the final, half an hour. So you can call it more than like an hour, but that last half an hour was absolutely crazy. Even after it came out of buy, there was still a massive dip right at the close. Like you could have had like 640, 650, and then still got that 695 closing print. So Tesla was as advertised when it came to volatility. It was fun to watch that kind of liquidity. Or lack of liquidity, depending on when you were trading it, but it was certainly an unbelievable ride.
Yeah, I tweeted out what we wound up doing on that one. I'm just watching this EYEG stock as well. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, Tesla. So I sold some on my own account right here at 669 off of some of these moves in the aftermarket on Friday. Yeah, big trade, man. It traded exactly the way we thought it would. As soon as the imbalance came out, I think it was like 19 million shares or so left to buy, I think it came out as. And then you can see the pop right here, a move down into the trade, and then bang, straight up. You could have got long anywhere. Obviously, in this 3-minute candle would have been cash. And then it printed all the way up here, guys, 695. So some of us were long, and I actually tweeted out, if I can find it, I can show you the exact trade that I made. Hold on a second. It'll be here. It is here. This is the trade, and obviously we never have enough shares, but you can't. I didn't have the time, but here it is right here, popping through. That's that big candle. Some at 660, some at 670, and then there's the ultimate print right at the end of the day. So these are all 1-minute candles. So just within a couple minutes, you make about $30 there on Tesla. We had lost going into the trade because we were long in here, expecting the number to come out and then hopefully rally into the number, but instead it did fade down. But anyways, Tesla, big actionable event. The other thing is I want to show you guys exactly played out exactly the way we thought, Neil, where the other names came off, right?
Yeah.
So Apple came off. They all kind of came off and then rallied into the close. So, that was a good event. Watch our Tesla video. We're going to be dropping some new ones soon as well, but the Tesla video should recap what we thought was going to happen, and it did. The largest ever rebalance occurred, and now we can move on. Thank God.
It was an exciting event. It was quite the opportunity as well, to say the least, going into the close there on Tesla. Just having a look at this GameStop. Surprisingly not, a huge reaction to this. There's 5%, but the volume is non-existent so far, only 100,000 shares. But here you go. RC Ventures upping their stake in the company to, 12.5% or so, for 12.9% to be exact. For GameStop. So a little bit of news there. We'll keep an eye on GameStop, see if it starts to trade a little bit more volume. Let's bring in Mark Roberts, president of Sun Lake Strategies, to have a discussion this morning on the overall market here. Mark, going to be an interesting day. We finally get this deal done. We finally get money, stimulus money coming out of Washington, but then at the same time, this kind of second strain or mutated strain of the coronavirus taking the headlines this morning.
Yeah, I am not surprised. On either case, Congress should have moved quicker. This should have been done a month ago. It's done. And now probably you'll see another package over the next 30, 60 days. Now that this one is done, everybody got a little something. I think the strain or the second strain that's in England, if my reading is correct, I don't think that it's going to affect much of the vaccines. Moderna is in a better position than Pfizer because it can react more quickly to updates. Also needs less refrigeration. I go with Moderna versus Pfizer for the moment.
Yeah, I was reading that this morning as well. Because of the way that they actually made their vaccine, it's a lot easier to manipulate, I guess, and adjust as needed for these different strains. There was a lot of people that were waiting for this money to come, specifically when it comes to the travel names, some of the airlines and cruise operators, because of the money that was specifically allotted to that group. Obviously the second wave here kind of overshadowing this stimulus money. But if we had to look at some of the travel names, is there a few that you're kind of eyeing today?
I still stick with Disney. I still stick with LUV. I still stick with Alaska Air and JetBlue as far as my preferred picks. Cruise lines still not in the front for me.
We're still getting some of these stay-at-home names as well coming back into play this morning. Zoom to the upside, Peloton again back to the upside this morning. Is there one or two in that group that we should keep an eye on today?
Actually, you've mentioned the two. So from that point of view, Netflix as well. Then the other side of it is the defensive names are going to hold up well today. The food names, General Mills, McCormick Spices, MKC, those kind of stocks will hold up very well in this environment. Volatility is great for them. They don't participate as much when the market's up in a huge way, but on the downside, they tend to hold well.
From an overall perspective, Mark, all three indexes, all-time highs last week. A bit of a drop here this morning. At what point, is this to be expected, and is this, almost needed for the market where it is right now?
I think it's long overdue. I think the positive sign has been that the small caps, the IWM, the Russell 2000, has been able to be as involved to the upside, mostly because they have so many, we'll call them, quote, biotechs and pharmas in that arena. So they held up really, really well. My guess is they'll hold up very well going into 2021. And I'm starting to screen for mid-cap and smaller cap industrials going into 2021.
Is there some areas on the overall S&P that you're looking at on the way down, possibly, that we should be aware of that are significant?
On the way down, actually, I tend to be the quiet bull. So for the moment, I'm just looking at the brighter side. But I would have to say transportation, travel, those kind of names will be the downside. Today, you'll see the banks on the upside after the stress test, Goldman, Berkshire, Wells Fargo, those kind of names will do very well. I don't know how Target and Walmart will do in this arena, So I'm a little cautious on those in the very short term.
Great stuff, Mark. We'll bring in Neil and Sean here and talk about some possibilities for today.
Hey, Mark.
Welcome, Mark. Good to see you. Good to see you again. Obviously, it's going to be an exciting week, and certainly, holiday week with activity to start off here. You mentioned one name, and the first thing I thought to myself is patience when it comes to something like a Disney. Now, everything's going to be under pressure, as you said. Correction probably overdue. Pick anything, and you're probably looking at all-time highs when it comes to indexes. With the exception of energy, I suppose. And for me, I'm asking myself, are we talking about, we're down 2% right now on Disney. Are we talking about needing 5%, 7%, like a 160 area? Is that enough patience for what we think could happen this week? Obviously, if you're going to be selling the airlines and the cruise lines, and you like Disney, it's not that big of a correction so far. So how long are we waiting here? Because I'm thinking 160 and maybe even further.
There's a gap to be filled, 155 to 165. So be cautious on that. But I'd be nibbling a little bit in here if it gets down to 165 and then wait and see how it does, because you've got a lot of moves in that gap area, those 10 points, that could hold.
Yeah, definitely very interesting. And just if I can quickly jump over to like a CCL, just because I know all of our traders in the show here that watch the show are always heavily involved in this name because it's so volatile. Obviously, people are going to be looking to sell this one off today. Certainly the 20 level. I've watched it a couple of times. There's a bit of a battle sort of going on here just in the pre-market on solid volume. If you're thinking about where the floor could be here, now I already had pegged in. If it breaks this 19 area, you're looking at that 1750, but it's holding up a little more than I expected so far this morning off of that 19. So I'm sort of wondering what the story is. Is it just the gap is a little bit too far? This feels pretty serious to me. I know Sean said he's thinking to take stuff off here, and I really thought, okay, giddy up, 19 break, let's go, but it doesn't seem like it's happening.
No, for whatever reason, probably short covering into the end of the year is my guess. I mean, don't forget, money's been pouring out of this, and short-term traders have been taking it back up in the hopes that the vaccine was going to be the winner. Obviously, if there's another strain, that fear will sort of take the air out of the balloon for the moment. But I think you can trade this pretty well in the 19.5, 21.5 range.
Thanks a lot there, Mark. I'm going to throw you to Sean because I know he's got a couple names he wants to talk to you. Thanks again.
Mr. Roberts, did we miss the bus? Here we go. We're going to catch this bus, by the way. Let's see if we can get it. Oh, we're trying. Did we miss the bus on Nike a little bit? I mean, right here, it's just been a monster quarter there. Digital sales up huge. People want to keep buying. They want to keep supporting Nike. They want to buy the best of breed, which is going to be Nike. You're up 5.5% today, almost 6% actually right now. And this is what it looks like. It's just straight marching higher. And I think this could almost be, Mark, right now, kind of like an undercover COVID play as well, because they don't seem to care that stores are shutting down. I mean, Nike continues to march higher on our watch list here. Let me just call it up where I can just show some people what we're talking about. We send out a watch list every single day with some statistics and some details. But here we go. Company raised its FY20, so forward 21st forecast coming up. Sales jumped 84%, triple digit North American growth. Everything, upgrades coming, price targets. What are we supposed to do with Nike here? I mean, I'm like Neil said, I'm a little bit worried about this market. I am worried about coronavirus part 2 here. And I just don't know if some of these, bellwether names like a Nike need to be bought right here into strength. Normally, Mark, I'd be all over this. I'd want to get my money into Nike. I love the report. I love the forecast. I love the upgrades. I love everything that they're doing. But have we missed the move is sort of how I started this all off.
I don't think you missed the move. I'd wait and see what happens after 11:30, 12 o'clock when Europe closes. My guess is Nike will remain a leader all day. But this is in the top 5 names for me for 2021
right.
To start accumulating. So I'm going to have to wait and see what the dips are like. Will I see 136 again? Highly unlikely. I'll probably have to step up at some point, but waiting till 138, 142 on the next dip, add a little bit and scale in, works for me.
Yeah, I just noticing that here. I have the 50-period moving average mine anyways on the daily chart, 132 in change. That would be pretty sweet. There obviously is a dividend associated with that. And you want to speak about some dividends and the opportunity to buy back some stock. We look no further, Mr. Roberts, than the financials right now in the banks. So today we do get a big boost. Obviously, they are allowed to start rebuying stock. JP Morgan announces right away, and I don't know, I'm sure you know this number, 30 billion for JP Morgan is going to start buying back their own stock. 30 billion, that's huge number right here. I do notice that a lot of the time when, you know, there's a rebound in the industry, we kind of go to the worst names. And that might be WFC in this case. And you get a huge bottom here of $21, support at 22 and change. Now it looks like we're going to break 30. Which name? WFC, there's Morgan, there's JP Morgan, there's Morgan, there's Morgan Stanley, there's JP Morgan, there's Goldman Sachs, there's WFC, there's Citigroup. Give us a name if you could pick one upside. I mean, I like Morgan Stanley right here, breaking quite highly, over 68 right now.
I would say Morgan Stanley, then Goldman, then JP Morgan, then Bank of America, then Citibank, then Wells Fargo.
So I think I know why you're going to choose Morgan and Stanley. Is that because of their trading wing? I mean, obviously, they're a lot more into the equities than they are, and the underwriting as well, maybe, than a JP Morgan, than a Citigroup. Is that what gives you, most positive thoughts about Goldman and Morgan, or is there another reason?
No, I would say that's the highlight. Also, they have adapted to this market far better. They've kept their nose clean. They've been out of the gray area, if you will, as far as financial problems, international or otherwise. Morgan Stanley is by far the best.
Okay, great. Yeah, I like Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs. I actually like JP Morgan just because of this base that they've made. And I still think that they could break. Most of the other banks are above, like we just said. Here's JP Morgan, still has to get to that high back in January of 140. Meanwhile, you have Goldman Sachs, like you just mentioned, just crushing that high right now today. And then Morgan Stanley, of course, way above this 57 last January, which was highs for these banks. So I'll throw you back to Brendan. Thank you once again, Mark. We covered a bunch of names there, and I think that our viewers definitely appreciate all that.
Thank you so much.
Great stuff, Mark. As always, thank you for your time. We'll speak again on Wednesday.
Okay, great. Have a good week.
Good luck. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting week for sure. Let's jump into what is moving around in the pre-market, guys. If you haven't done so, sign up for the watch list. It's absolutely free. We go over all the names that are moving around in the pre-market before we get to the open at 9:30. We've talked about a few already. The first one on the list here, guys, Tesla to the downside ever so slightly this morning from where we ended. Obviously, I mean, we kind of discount the print that came after the index change happened on Friday at the close. All-time highs for the print. We're down on that this morning. But here we go. First day as part of the S&P.
It's that first day. I kind of feel like it's pink short day today. If we survive it, that's what we get when you short in Tesla. Obviously, sell the news. Type of idea. That's $6.95 top. I mean, gorgeous if you can get $7 or something like that. But I was immediately just thinking about like a $6.80 when I rolled in here this morning. If you were to get a chance, and maybe if you're a really, really early riser, you could have already had this. I don't know why this isn't loading any further. Let's zoom in a little bit here. So now thinking about this previous high that just got made, like this 675 into that 680 could be that little jump off spot. I feel like if it breaks through here, you're probably at least testing Friday's highs. The interesting thing, and the only reason why I'm coming in sort of confident enough to maybe put some trades on in Tesla and thinking about that short side, is when there was any move down, and whether it was in the afternoon on Friday going into that rebalance, or even as the number came out, once the bid started to go, it was really rapid, and you really saw it fall just twice as far, twice as fast as I was expecting, and that was when I was looking for a dip. So I'm definitely thinking there could be an opportunity this week to sell some weakness here. Certainly, there's going to be less eyes on this here, so you have to watch out for liquidity concerns. So your stops maybe just a little bit, adjust a little bit in terms of how aggressive you are. But I'm looking at that 680 for a fade play today in Tesla. If it can't break that high, I'll be looking for a short.
Yeah, look, I wrote down, I mean, that's a great call there. I'm looking short. I did sell some of my, let me do the math, 15% of my holding in Tesla on Friday, right at the close. I didn't get 695, I got 669. I was just waiting ahead of some of the highs that were there. So we did get out at 669, 15% of the position. Look, Tesla's up 70% since the announcement into the rebalance and in the S&P. So that's enough for me to get out. We do talk about buy the news, sell, or buy the rumor, sell the news. There it is. And 655 is where I'm looking to go short. Reason why 655, we go back. We forget about Friday. Friday was fun. Obviously, we know that this was not meant to be this drop. It was just a technical thing due to the rebalance. So I look right here, 655. It's where we closed on Thursday, and I think that if we can break that level, then we do revisit something down here. I think this is kind of key where we did hold. We did hold this 635 level. As you can see, there was some bunching around here, 625, 635, and like Neil mentioned, the selling could have continued all the way back down, but we did get some legs, and then thank God 350 came fast to stop that from going back upside. But I agree, man. Tesla could fall back down, but this is the thing, man. Tesla's a cult stock, and we can't get enough love from these names. They keep getting bought on dips, so please do not forget about that. There's so much money. I heard, I think I was listening to Jim Cramer there on Friday. $5 trillion, he estimates, is on the sidelines to come in and buy all these names when they're ready. So, I mean, Tesla's always going to be on watch for me. But for today, I'm looking downside, and I'm looking at a 655 break, possibly retracing back to 630 and change.
All right, guys, we'll get a look at some upgrades and downgrades for the morning. Obviously, just a few, but some significant ones. Upgrades on this side. Downgrades over there. Yeah, Microsoft, top of the list here on the upgrade side. It's still 0.5% in negative territory. Nike on here, earnings aftermarket on Friday on the list. Here's Space, Virgin Galactic on here, but still, yeah, in negative territory. Wells Fargo at the bottom there, 1.8% to the upside, part of the banking group. Nothing significant really on the downside. McCarrick here and Boston Properties. Boston Properties, one of those REITs. They are in the retail space as well, similar to Simon Properties when it comes to malls and department stores and things like that, catching a downgrade today, guys.
Yeah, watch. Good call there. I'll call up Simon Properties because we've been looking at that for a bit. I like Microsoft being on that list as an upgrade. I mean, I think that it's smooth sailing for those guys no matter what's happening. And I just see Google got a new deal with Saudi Aramco as well for some of their cloud services. But look, Simon Properties, this is one that I've sold already. We've talked about this. I love this name early on. We did have this base at 60, but guess what? It's probably coming back, guys. The largest commercial operator of malls, Simon Properties. Watch out now. We're coming really close back to this 76 level. I like this as a short, but we are getting ready, man. Watch out for an 81.50 break. This is definitely a high-flying stock, 141,000 shares. We got to watch out to break the bottom here on Simon Property Groups. And what was the other one? BXP was Boston Property?
Yeah.
BXP, so we'll look at that here as well. And again, down 3.5%. But look, it's a very, very similar daily chart. Well, not really. I mean, we based out here at 80 or so. We did get as low as 70, but there's that bottom, 75. I just think we retest a lot of these spots here. I'm very, very nervous, guys, about normally you hear me come in and we're all guns a-blazing, bullish and everything. I do like the fact that the S&P and the NASDAQ seems to be holding up right here, Neil. I'm very surprised, just like you are. I thought that everything would continue down. You mentioned CCL, but yeah, I would short. Look at BXP though, guys. Volume 413. You have to understand this is why you trade SPG. 142,000 shares. So if you want something for a day trade, SPG. If you are thinking that we are coming back either to the downside, then trade BXP. But I like SPG for a day trade.
Yeah, and like just looking at Microsoft, your name here, Sean. You look at the lack of sort of volatility recently. You catch a little bit of an upgrade, and if the market does try to come off here and you get any chance, Microsoft testing the bottom end of this range, like a 210 maybe even like a 212 or something like that. It's just just feels like there's going to be some good scalp style trades or maybe even short duration swings that'll be worthwhile. You got to think about what names to pick up in this environment. We'll go over the ones that you can sell, and there's going to be quite a few of them today. But certainly looking at Microsoft a little bit here as well. As far as the banks go, I think we talked about this on Friday. this possibility, the stronger names would be getting some good news, and that's exactly what happened. Happy to see Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan looking very, very nice this morning. I didn't see Wells Fargo coming, but certainly good look by Mark there.
All right, guys. Yeah, speaking of Mark, before we get to Arun and I'll have a look at the futures here, failed to mention when he was on, but wanted to bring to your attention that every other Monday for members, guys, we sit down right after the show for about 45 minutes or so and answer your questions. Mark Roberts is going to be joining us for the next one, which is coming up next Monday. So not today, but next Monday, our members, for members discussion at 11:35. Mark Roberts is going to sit in for that one and the one after that as well. So every other Monday, guys, remember that we have a discussion at 11:35 for members, $4.99 a month. All the support is much appreciated. Yeah, Mark Roberts is going to be joining us next Monday, and then 2 weeks after that as well. Let's bring in Arun here, and we'll have a look at the overall market, see what levels we need to be aware of as far as the futures are concerned. A little more negative feeling here to start the week, Arun.
Yeah, talk about a market really opening up and providing a ton of action, right? This is what happened overnight after the European Open. So here we are down quite a bit, down just over 1% on the NASDAQ and about just over 1.5% on the ES futures. So the levels that we're going to keep an eye on, the one that I was using since Friday, or actually Thursday, I believe, 37.25. Originally, that was a 37.15, slid to 37.20, and then eventually slid to 37.25. That is in play. That is the one that is the top of Friday, and as well as the pre-market for this session as well. So here we are, 37.25. We are down to 36, just underneath 36.50. So 37.25 is way up there. That's available for as a level. There's a ton of action in front of it. So if we get into the 90s, I think we can start using that as a potential. If we can find a short, then that's a potential option for a shorts up there. 36.95 is on the bottom. That is a low from the pre-market. So in between there, we're kind of stuck here in between 36.55 and 36.20. So I am waiting to see how we play this one out, because if we can get a breakout, then I think we can go 65 break, 20 stop, look for a run towards 80, 85. If we break to the downside, we have 36.20 break, 36.55 as a stop, then look for a downside run towards the 3600s. Also, if you can find a decent setup with a good risk reward ratio in front of either one of those levels, then you can try to play in front of the level as well. So there's a couple options here. You can play in front of a level, you can play the break of a level, and then once it starts to run, there's a couple other levels like the 37.25 and the 36.95 available for resistance and support in the event that the trend starts to slow down a little bit. So there's a couple options for now, though we are in between 36.55 and 36.20. It's either the breakout or try to play in front. It's either one. If it's a good setup, I'm going to look for a good setup if I can try to play in front of it. Otherwise, I'm going to look for the breakout on either way.
Arun, we're obviously heading into the second last week of the year here as far as trading is concerned. In your experience, there's obviously news headlines pushing this and more things to consider here. But in your experience, once we get past that final S&P index change for the year on a yearly basis, so the week heading into Christmas and then the week after, from a liquidity standpoint, what should we be expecting over the next couple of weeks?
Okay, so typically the last big volatile event or big liquidity event is going to be obviously the imbalance, which was on Friday. And then what happens is it tends to be quiet, except for today. We do have news, extraneous circumstances. So we do have news, but on a typical year, what we tend to do is the first couple of days going into the holiday, and then obviously the 24th is a half day. So the day before that, the 23rd, tends to be the last big event for the year. It's not really big. It's just the most amount of volume we're going to get throughout the week because it tends to be quiet. And then the half day, I'm not expecting a whole lot on the half day because that is Christmas Eve. It's half day. A lot of big traders have passed their stations over to their junior traders and they're gone. So if anything, if we're looking for big liquidity, I would think closing on the 23rd. But again, we have news this week, so it kind of changes the game a little bit. But again, on the 24th, I think that's only one I think would stay consistent is I'm not expecting a whole lot on the 24th.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning as we head towards the open of trading, guys. About 25 minutes to go here. Let's continue along, having a look at what is moving along or moving around in the pre-market. Boeing next. Congressional report out on Friday after market suggesting that there was inappropriate coaching for test pilots when it came to the recertification of the 737 MAX jet, getting them back into the air. Obviously, that has happened already, guys. So 737 has been ungrounded. Now we're going back and saying, wait a minute, maybe there was some questionable things happening for these test pilots.
Yeah, like telling them, yeah, get ready to hit this switch or keep your hand on this switch for the simulation. Instead of like a 12 or 13, I think actually a 15-minute response time, you get like 4 or 5 minutes. That was like a scene from Sully. I don't know if you guys have watched that movie, but either way, it's probably going to provide a bit of an opportunity here for Boeing. The reality is, even if something does come of this, the jet is now considerably safe. And I actually personally believe after this 737 is just going to be likely one of the safest things to fly. And I think the reality, it's so much negative possibilities and so much of a downturn would be expected if anything were to happen. So Boeing is going to, likely do everything in their power to ensure safety. This does give an opportunity to test this 200 level at least. And we talked about dips into there. Maybe 180 is a sort of a pipe dream. But if you ever got anything like that, we do have a Corona 2.0 coming through here. So you're already gapping down the rest of the space. And I would sooner be looking at Boeing on dips than I would the airlines. Certainly there are a couple airlines that are okay to own, but Boeing oligopoly certainly worth it. I don't know if we test 200, 204 is a level I had written down for today if there was a dip. But either way, 200 is a much, much nicer area to catch. 204, but 204 is today's level. If it gets anywhere close to that, I'd be looking to buy in front.
Yeah, what did we hit there? About 7 o'clock this morning. I didn't put my charts back that far, but we had 212 coming. We have 210 here, 211. So like I say, I'm looking negatively today at the market. So I do like a 208.50 break on Boeing, but I don't think this is the one to sell if you're negative on the market. I actually think this is a long opportunity into some of this news. Like Neil said, I don't think it's bad. I think it's bad, but I don't think the 737 is going to come with heralded unsuccess. I think it's going to be quite successful on the launch. And of course, there's always going to be this. There's always going to be reports if something happened, something slipped through the cracks. I think you buy Boeing on weakness. Today's pretty weak. We did have a nice little pullback. I am long 217. We did talk about that. There's Boeing NQ. Just dipping into some of these names right now. I think that we are going to get that pullback eventually. Like I said, we're trying to raise a little bit of cash over the next couple days, getting ready for January, especially with this next strain. Look, I don't know what this next strain is going to be. The 50 period, or I guess it is a new strain. 194 right here is the 50 period moving average on Boeing. I do like that as a spot to possibly start getting more long or longer, because I'm already long. 170 if we get that gift, then hallelujah. But for right now, I like a long. I like it going through. Let's just check out. We have a little bit of time left. Let's check out our imbalance locator. And I didn't see Boeing on here, and I continue not to. So I don't really see anything on here that's super interesting right now. GE comes as a sell, so does CCL. But other than that, no major names on here. I think everyone just wants to wait. I'm really surprised. I thought the NASDAQ Europe is down 3%, mostly across the board. So I am really surprised that NASDAQ only down that 1.1. And then Brendan, quickly, I know we have it flashing at the bottom, but let's just see what the ES is down 1.5 right now as well. So some strength coming. I thought that, this is Europe opening and just, a huge crash down to 3,600. I still think we could watch out for 3,600 today. We bounced off of that pretty nicely. So let's wait to see. That's 5 o'clock this morning, our time. Let's wait to see if 3,600 comes into play again. I'm a little nervous about the ES right here, guys.
All right, travel stocks next, guys. We have airlines, cruise operators, hotels, all as a group down between kind of 3 and 5% on the morning. Some of them trying to grind their way back to the upside, as we just saw with the overall market here. Let's have a look, guys, at, take your pick. Airlines, as I mentioned, cruise lines as well. Even the hotels under pressure.
Yeah, we did talk a little bit about CCL there, but just to jump over to American, which I was looking for an opportunity to sell. And I just wanted to quickly show the daily chart here. This sort of 1530 to 1550 area on the way up, a bit of resistance. You had this breakthrough right at the beginning of the month here in December. So that just feels like, and you look at this level here in the pre-market, it's that same 1550. That's the breakdown that I'm looking for in American Airlines. I just like the setup. I just like the level. CCL here, Sean, this one, we talked about this just now with Mark. A little surprising. It's catching that bid. And like he said, short covering, because it's a heavily shorted name, could be in play today. So I'm going to go away from what it was going to be just playing off of a 20 level all morning long and thinking if it gives me a pop anywhere close to previous close, I'm going to be all over shorting in front of it. So AAL, I like to break down 1550. I'll be holding off on CCL that I wanted to play off of a 20 area, and it just keeps bouncing back and forth. There was a big buyer just now at 1993 that ticked up. There's a large order now at 20 even on the bid here, 100,000 shares there on the ARCA book. And this, of course, if you see NYB, those orders don't fill until the stock opens up. So that could be included in a possible imbalance or opening auction trade. So I like 1550 on American Airlines. CCL, I might actually look to short a pop instead.
Yeah, I don't, I mean, I get what Mark is saying, but this is not that much. 7.8% short float, but maybe historically that is for CCL. I'll have to find out, but that's right now 7.84% on that one. Let's see, NCLH, what is the short float on that one? See what I'm talking about? 16%. So there are bigger names to short other than CCL. So I'll have to ask Mark what he was meaning about that one. But okay, so yeah, I like CCL through the bottom. We talked about 1920 a little bit earlier. I mean, 1967 right now. I can always yell to my friend Daryl Flinch out there on the chat as he likes to trade CCL as well. This bottom here is 19. Maybe I can zoom in just a little bit more. The reason why I'm doing this is because this may be the name that we decide to short eventually today. Just watching it through the open, you do have this top, that's 19 exactly, 1920. This is where I'm getting it from. It's these bottoms here, about a week and a bit ago, 1920. So I think we'll look out for that. It is on watch today. Again, it's not huge on the imbalance locator, if I can just call that up one more time for you guys. It's 800,000, which is big, but we've already done 3 million, and it hasn't paired off too much. So I think we're downside. I am like Neil here. I do want to go short if we can get some resistance spots. Let's just see what happens off the open. But 2025 is a good spot for me. That's always key. I trade off the quarters. 2050, 2025 key. And then we'll smash 20 to the downside. And then we'll just wait to see what happens. But I do like CCL for the short. That might be the one today, guys.
All right, guys, let's go to the banking group. We had the Fed stress test results out after market on Friday. Better than expected right across the board. They also reinstated the buyback option for the banks. So as we've talked about already, some of them initiating these buybacks already. I like that graphic. We found one with all of them on there, guys. So positive right across the board here. I mean, it's among the few that are positive so far this morning.
Absolutely. Look, obviously, if you've been looking at the banks, it's sort of lagging in this sort of environment, but the buybacks are something that, the dividends and the buybacks are something that have been the big generator of interest in some of these names. And without that, you're going to see a lot of weakness. Now, Morgan Stanley, just in particular here, this was the one along with JP Morgan that we were talking about on Friday. I like the support area that it's at least it was attempting to pull back into, and obviously you had the big push in the aftermarket on Friday on the positive news. But this 65 level down to about 64 on Morgan Stanley. I'm really going to like it if it dips down into there. Certainly worth possibly being patient and picking some up. That's the only one I'm looking. That's the only one that caught my attention in terms of levels that I really liked. But just worth noting. Whoops, where did I go? My level 2 there. Bit of a bid here. So I just talked about a pullback into 65, but a bit of a bid again on the New York book. A 200,000 share buyer at 66 even. So. Post options expiration, seeing some large orders that might be coming through on the auction open here in the New York exchange, might have some trouble getting through to that 65 on any kind of a dip. If that's the case, and that maybe we jump in and there's just massive buying on Morgan Stanley at the open at 66, might be that level to just take a quick little long trade off of. But that's a bit speculation here. It's only done 87,000 pre-market, so I don't want to read too much into that size. But it is on my sort of radar here, and it's not the first stock that I've seen that has a large NYB, a buyer or a seller just sitting around there. Meanwhile, Sean, all these imbalances aren't that big on their own.
No, the imbalance is not too great. I just have to tell no contractor coming today to my house. Okay, 123. So I like JP Morgan. Before we go, I want to thank you so much, Mr. Baka Desu there. Yeah, we'll see if we can get to 5K likes. That'd be nice. But thank you for the $5 again. Mr. Baka Desu, thank you so much for that. And thank you for all the super chats as we keep going. Come on, guys, we're the best. Seaman, Kosmans, thank you so much. Come on, let's keep it going. And yeah, hell yeah, let's keep this going. going. 123.50 right now. The reason why I'm liking that on JP Morgan, it is actually part of my sticky note sheet right here. These are the recent highs, man. 123, we did touch out 123.50 back November, and the banks are up. Like, this is already a nice little run here. I know Neil said they're lagging a little bit. Yeah, they're lagging the tech stocks, that's for sure. But for banks, this is a pretty good breakout. And I guess it's expected that this was gonna happen. So we go up 25% since November 1st, November 5th. Actually, you're up 25% on JP Morgan. That's monstrous, guys, but I still think we can break it even higher. And I'm just looking for new highs here. So I wrote down on the sheet here, there we go, nice little 1K likes there. I wrote down on the sheet, thank you so much for those super chats. There it is. Where is it? There it is. JP Morgan 123.50. And I put like a little question mark around 124 there. Nike on a pullback 141. And I do like Zoom long. Notice no price next to that Zoom long, because we're going to be looking to see about that one coming through soon. It's not on, I don't think it's on our morning watch list, but
It is.
It is. Okay, good. So Zoom, definitely on there. We will get to that, but up 3.5%, still going. My largest, not my largest, but a holding that we have on right now as well is Peloton. So we're going to be looking at Peloton and Zoom. I like Peloton breaking all-time highs through 142.50 as well today. So some of these COVID plays making some moves, but we will get to Zoom, as apparently it's on our list.
Yeah, both mentioned on our list this morning, guys. Want to get to both of those coming up, but let's talk Nike first. Earnings aftermarket on Friday. Big beat right across the board. We discussed it briefly with Mark Roberts there, but if you're joining us a little bit late, so let's go back over things again. Multiple, and I mean 5 or 6 different analysts with either an upgrade or price target increase for Nike. I mean, right across the board, per share, revenue, all to the upside, guys. Full year, 21 forecast to the upside. What do we do with Nike here?
I like the long.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta like the long. But you said this, Sean, when talking with Mark. Did you miss the boat? I don't necessarily think you have, especially given. Look, one of the headwinds that Nike got was stay at home. People are doing a heck of a lot more. You have time to work out, you're going for runs, you're doing your Peloton thing, and you need some gear if you're going to do that. So if that's going to be the case, that's a positive win for Nike there. So if it is going to pull back, fair enough. You're going to look at like 142 half, you're going to look at 143, something along those lines. But I'm not going to stray away from the possibility that we could just be a runner today. And much like every other stock we're just going to see here, it is the holiday shortened week, so volumes aren't necessarily through the roof. So I don't love opening trades on a stock like Nike normally, especially a breakout. I wouldn't take a breakout at 146.65, which is the current top. I wouldn't take it off of the open. I would buy a dip off the open. That's a little bit different because that might give you something into like 143, 143.50. But I'd be patient. It's like I like Zoom today as well, Sean. But with Nike, I didn't have a price in particular that I really, really liked, unless it was going to be a dip.
Yeah, I wrote down 141, which would be dipping it into here. So, I mean, again, it's just on Friday's high of 140.50 made basically, made literally right at the close. So this is a 1-minute chart. So Nike 140, forget about this little dip down. There could have been an imbalance, but you see the nice little move up here to 140.50, meaning that I think we can protect that. We're up a lot. But the thing is, like I said to Mark Roberts, like this is just the reason why I like Zoom, just the reason why I like Peloton, the same reason to like Nike, to be honest with you. They don't care about COVID. I don't know why, but people are still buying a lot of shoes. I don't know if you're going out walking or what, but Nike 146 to the high side just continues to make, investors love this name. It was only $100, not even too long ago. You're back in. Let's talk about August. So you're up 45% since August and still making moves. And I just like Nike. I'm with you, man. 350,000 shares. I'd take this off the open. But again, I'm not going to be too excited about things off the open just because I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this market. And I don't know what this new strain means exactly, but trust us, like, when the first COVID was coming, there was a few days where people didn't really believe it, and then it got real. And then so I'm just wondering, like, I believe in Moderna as well, if it's true that they can, I'm sure it's true, they can adapt to the strain. I think that's important. But guess what, guys? They still got to then ship like 5 billion new strains. So, I mean, this is not going anywhere. I'm very concerned about this, but I do like Nike to go long. I think we'll just baby test some of these positions, and then maybe like around 9.32, 33 or so, we'll actually take some. But I like Nike, no reason to short it.
All right, Sean, let's go back to Zoom and Peloton here. The stay-at-home stocks higher this morning on those fears, the new fears surrounding the second strain of the coronavirus over in the UK. Both Zoom and Peloton worth having a look here.
I mean, look at Zoom. I mean, we just talked about it. I like Peloton more because I'm an investor in Peloton, and I have been looking at that. I picked some up in the teens on that name. And again, that's when I don't have to sell today. We may sell some DraftKings in our in our swing positions. But looking at Zoom, I already think it's made a pretty sweet bottom right here. So this is another thing that's caught my attention. 378. I would have been a buyer of Zoom in here, but we do know how expensive it is. And it's just that, now with the second strain, I like this. I mean, I'm not going to say we're going back to all-time highs. I mean, 580 is ridiculous there. And that was, during the peak. They had great earnings, and since then we've faded up, back off a little bit. But this 50 period is 450. I think that easily gets visited again. And then just some of these tops, man, 430. Even in here, we can zoom in just a little. We zoom in. Obviously, that's not done on purpose. 425 is right here. We did have some 425 spots, so I like 425. I just wrote down any level. You guys saw that on my sheet. So I don't know, man, a pullback right now. Some of these levels look pretty good. If we take out the top 426, 425, I think we're stepping into it. But remember, if the market goes up, then Zoom will go down. People will sell Zoom to buy other names. So you have to be so super careful with it. I think a better long, Neil, is Peloton, just because we are breaking out to all-time highs. There's more reasons to love this name other than stay at home. You can see when Amazon's into their business, so is Apple. I think that's a good sign, first mover advantage. I like Peloton better to break out than Zoom, but I'd hope to get long on both of them at some point.
Yeah, I had 415 on Zoom. Peloton just by the high. It's what we just said about Nike, right? Like that wind makes sense for me. And I know there's some chatter in the chat talking about Nike isn't for real runners. Yeah, I get that. But growth comes from people that are doing something new and jumping in. And I just feel like anyone that didn't pick up a Peloton, you get end of the year, New Year's resolutions. I mean, come on. There's just a heck of a lot of things that are strong for the overall fitness space, let's just say, in addition to this COVID. So that one sticks out like a thumb. I feel like even with 128,000, Peloton definitely okay to take pre-market. Well, there's only 8 minutes left, so it probably would be off the open.
We keep, before we throw back to Brendan, I just saw Daryl mention it here in the chat, guys. Okay, the one thing that we're forgetting about here, and we don't want to forget about it, is the new deal, right? I mean, it's going to be $900 billion. I think it's a $600 one-time payment, and then $300 a week to certain pockets there for the U.S. economy. So don't forget about that. And I just want to say that that's holding the market up, obviously, as NASDAQ now only down 1% and the S&P down 1.4%. So don't forget about all that money, apparently. We'll hit the cash register, that the U.S. government just keeps on printing and sending out to everybody. So that could give a boost to the market. Good point, Daryl. Thanks for bringing that up.
All right, guys. Yeah, when it comes to those stay-at-home names, I was just looking at a couple of other ones that we've somewhat tied to that group in Lululemon and also Sonos, the speaker maker. Both of them, yeah, that's Lulu, in negative territory. 0.8% for Lulu this morning. Flip over to Sonos, yeah, 3.5% to the downside. So Peloton, the Zooms of the world, definitely showing a lot more relative strength heading towards the open here. I want to kind of group the next two together. We'll start with Open Door. We mentioned it on Friday. Social Capital's IPOB turning into Open Door as of this morning. The good thing about SPACs, guys, is Open is already open and trading on the NASDAQ. So we can get a quote here. If I can flip over there, we can go to my chart there, Robbie, if you want. And yeah, 3% since the open in the pre-market here. But so there's Open Door, and then all the other IPOs that we were talking about last week, worth a look here. Airbnb, DoorDash, obviously that C3 AI as well.
Of course we're smirking, because when does Brendan do the bad puns? Actually a good pun. I'm just going to quickly show you IPOB just so you can see this top at 3063. And then you want to go back over to what Brendan was just showing you over on Open Door. It did test through. There's one like dark pool print up here, but the real high is this 3050. So you are looking for a potential breakout with Open Door, whether it's that 50 mark or you use that high of the low 60s. Either one is going to work out for you. Do have that aim, guys. Bit of a market sell came through at 250. That's the level I'm working with off the open. If it breaks 230, it's going to get rather nice to the downside there if you're tracking that name. Big time sell came through off of 250. Can't let that break. But I'm watching open door for this 50 to 60 area. If we take that out, it could be a good long. However, we have seen what's happened in the past. First day of listing, it can be a little bit muted. So I wouldn't hold that trade all the way back into pre-market lows because it's too wide of a range. That's a $2 range, a $2.50 range it's already put in. So if it's a 360 break, probably not giving it too much further past 30 even, and then looking for a different trade.
So you guys know, yeah, good talk there on some of those. We didn't talk about DoorDash. Brendan and Neil will know. So we were short 150, right? Really thinking, and we thought we had this one. We did. We took it here. We made some nice wins, and then we held it, and then we reversed long. No word of a lie, right here, like at 154, and it was an amazing trade. We rode this up $13 or $14 and actually didn't wind up getting out until somewhere around here, 164 or so. Brendan just kept saying to me, are you watching this thing? Actually, it was actually higher. What am I talking about? We let it go all the way up here. I think we got out on some of these pullback. I think it was $14 winner, so that would make sense. So we took it lug here, 154, and then it just took off in the afternoon. No idea why this happened, but we let it keep going, breaking levels, breaking hearts. I don't believe in DoorDash. I cannot believe how high this name is. Again, we opened at 180, so it still is down. Retail clients still getting hurt by this name, but guys, like I still like a short of 160 here on Dash. So watch out. If we break this 160 to the downside, I think we continue to fall on Dash. I just don't. Again, it is kind of a COVID play again, though, with more names coming into play here. If we stay at home more, Dash wins. So maybe I'm just being too bearish on this name. You tell me in the chat what you think about Dash. But again, more money going means more people staying at home and eating. And yeah, I guess Dash can continue to win. If it does, man, watch out for 170 where we stopped on Friday. That's right where we're at right now.
Yeah, I like that look. And just to talk about some of these other names here, Airbnb, of course, another one of these recent IPOs. It had a bit of a run. DoorDash, of course, was just crazier. Maybe that was part of the squeeze with the negative report, but Airbnb couldn't quite get to that initial day high, that 165 monstrous level from the first day, but did fade off of this 159. It's trying to test currently the pre-market top here, 154.35. So my eyes are at a 154.50 break. On this one, I know at Crazy Sports Clips, so you've been asking a lot about Airbnb. If I had to pick one of the two, certainly it would be Airbnb over a DoorDash, but there could be some negative headwinds today, some negative wins today, of course, with that news. So I'm a little wary of that breakout. I'd much prefer if we would hang out and hold the low and then break a little bit later on in the session. But this could happen rather quickly here, guys, through the top. And then first resistance is obviously right at that 157.30 previous close, and then 160 above that, Bren.
All right, guys, yeah, one more, two, or a couple more little ones on the list this morning. This one not, but wanted to mention CRBP, some little pharmaceutical name, positive trial data coming out this morning in the pre-market. So up just 20% here, but the reason I wanted to show you this, because $2, a huge level. If we come to the daily chart, this goes all the way back to basically the spring of this year. Came down, sat on $2 after split. And then basically has stayed below it until now. So we're testing $2 for the first time here. So anything below $2 probably gets you down into 140, 150, where it was back on Friday for CRBP, guys.
We just, I just tweeted out, and thanks Brendan for it, and I saw a lot of you guys talking about Palantir making moves. And this is what I said, guys. I said this about Palantir and what their order book looks like, and then there it is right now. Army Vantage reaffirms partnership with $114 million. I know, I guess Brendan can have it up here if he has it, but here, I'll just show it to you quickly as I just tweeted out so I can have the news. Reaffirms Palantir partnership with $114 million agreement. I mean, that's not big, but the big thing is here is, you know, we do have some, whoops, don't have to see that. We do have some government, you know, access here with Palantir. We talked about what they're into, border control, they're into security, they're into everything, and now into the Army as well. So we're gonna wait to see what exactly that means. Again, it's just a headline right now, but look at this march up to the upside there. For Palantir though, you could just look at this 27 level. I was looking at 2650. We're getting very close to that. We will try 2650. We tried breaking 2650 on Friday, stopped at 27, so we're gonna keep that in note. So Palantir 2650 now on watch. Quick check before we go, only a minute left. GE continue to sell. They like to sell CCL. We're going to try to get short in that one ahead of 2250 on, or sorry, 2050 on CCL. And then other than that, there's a lot on here, guys. Don't sleep on this. It should be an exciting one. NCLH as well to the sell side. We noted more shortables on NCLH than on CCL as percentage of float. So if anything's going to go up, it may be NCLH as opposed to CCL. But I'm looking to get short here on CCL and take Palantir through 2650.
Yeah, CCL's still going upside. I'm still thinking about fading into that at some point. But we didn't mention AI here, but I saw someone in the chat talking about it. 145. Friday's high, all-time high, obviously. You've only been trading for a little bit here.
Why is the market
possibly
going?
tested right here on AI, C3 AI. That's going to be an interesting break. I'm probably going to be all over that one if it goes. I kind of prefer it to Airbnb, so I'm going to cancel my order on Airbnb and throw one in here on C3 AI. But it is time to drop that countdown. We've got a bit of a holiday week, but that doesn't mean there aren't going to be good trades to be had. List V is on the bell, so let's lower that in 5, 4, 3, 2. Is Tesla really at 666? Of course it is.
We saw Tesla.
666, of course.
55 I was looking at for Tesla. Let's just check in. Peloton looks like it's going to take out the high. There it is. We go long Peloton right now as it takes out the high. We are also short CCL now. So long Peloton, short CCL. Let's give CCL up to this high, man. $20.55 or so on that one. Let's just give it some room. Peloton kind of opens, but not really. So we're going to wait to see for some real volume to come in on this one. Spread quite large on Peloton right now.
No, you're absolutely right about that spread. I mean, it just immediately tests right back to that like 142
we got to get
range.
to 140.
But also going to be looking very quickly, if I can, where'd CCL go? 2020, 2030. I like that 2050 area. AIM is headed to the downside. I missed out on Tesla. 670 was the best price you were able to get over there. It is just screaming to the downside now. So got to look for my entry point into Tesla. If I can even get it, it just seems like it's about to break this 656 pre-market level. If I can get off 670, sorry, on the way back up, I might have to fade into this one.
Okay, yeah, so we're going to wait for 2050 or so to break on CCL, and then if it does, man, we'll get out of that one. So we are average into the short now on CCL. We did take Palantir, guys, so we're long Palantir now, 54, so a nice little win here. See if we get out some 64. There it is. Let's go let's go Palantir. A couple P's in the building right now. Palantir long, nice little win there, and Piton long as well. Beautiful win here, guys.
Let's go. Immediate power up. C3 AI. I didn't see who it was in the chat, but I was talking all about Airbnb, and then AI 145 just absolutely stuck out like a sore thumb. 145 break, just got some at it. 149, quick $4 winner. I mean, obviously 150 is going to be a psychological level, so I shouldn't be looking a gift horse in the mouth. I should be trying to take some off. Another leg here.
Neil.
There we go. Another backflip action over here in C3 AI. If it breaks back in, maybe we'll get a dip buy at 145, guys.
Yeah, man, look at Palantir, 2650. We took out the big stick, guys, and we told you about it, so let's go bang that one off to the high side. Let's just get some more offering now if we can. Oh, yeah, and by the way, Peloton, $3 now, guys. Beautiful trade on Peloton. 142.80. We talked about getting long there. Bang! What a great trade that was. In here, out 143.80. That's $1. Out again for $1.50. Now we'll wait on the high side to see if we make more. We're way past our daily goal now. Look at this one as well. CCL coming to the downside. We got to get some out. We just buy by accident. Let's see if we get some more out on CCL. Nice little move on this one, guys. In the money now, 4 pennies on this. Peloton, we didn't get any out on the very high. So let's take some more out as we go, guys. Big trading here for me today. Very, very happy. Palantir, wow, got some out, 27.10. We told you, watch out for 27. Beautiful trading today.
Yeah, I got out of 2/3 of that Peloton in front of that 145. It's psychological levels. You do that even number. If it breaks back below like a 142.50, I'll probably just take the rest of it out. C3 AI, similar story, guys. It's a fantastic break here. Last second, try to get it to. It just took out 150. I'm going to, look, if 150 gets broken back to the downside, I'm probably going to be thinking about where I can cover. But this one is off and running to the races. 153 just had a bit of a seller here. We're in the money like $8 from the top end on C3 AI. Might as well just see how far it can run. The only thing so far that is not running that well, and I haven't added to this one. I got a little bit of a dip in front of that 2040. I still want to short in CCL, and I want to give it past that 2050 area. That's why I've held off on adding. I want to see if it turns around, and the second I get a downtick, I'm going to jam some shares into here on CCL, but I've been holding off on that one when we get the runner on. Wow, AI. $10 in the money. Brennan, what's up?
All right, guys. First one of the banks to pop up here is actually Bank of America, BAC, a little bit stronger than the rest right now. You can see 2% buy-side volume coming in. I'll flip over quickly to JPM. Yeah, not so much. Broke that bottom end support from the pre-market down to 121, guys.
All right, just checking out.
AI, no.
Yeah, just checking out some of the time here. Yeah, AI continues to go. Palantir continues to go as well. But now we're out. We're out of a lot of Palantir. So watch out for the high side on that name. Still waiting to see if that's doing anything right now. That's Palantir 2670, the high side. We did get stopped out on our CCL, but I did go back in a little bit. Again, it looks like the market just wants to rally here. So I was saying doom and gloom today, but no. So we will get out of some of our CCL and not worry about it. But right now, that is moving around. CCL up to the high side, guys, just keeps on going. I don't really have a target, but I guess it looks like they want to sell it or they want to buy this thing. So we'll short it until 21 and then drop it if that goes. But Peloton still making moves to the high side, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I missed the top on AI, but just going to throw an order. If it goes halfway back to this 158, I was looking at 160 and tried to catch that turn, but it turned at 158.20, which is just not quite as close to the 160s I thought it was going to be, so I do miss out on it. I'm not going to gamble that it's going to go all the way back to that high, but if I can get it out here in front of a 155 level, I think you got to be happy with something like that, guys. And of course, it just turned off of 155, but if we get any kind of a push up, this is the spread that you're looking at. $1 to $1.50 spread at times, but I just got the fill there at 155 even. So we're doing backflips over C3 AI. This is what I love about the community. I looked at breakout longs in Airbnb. We're talking about some of those recent IPOs. But AI was just a better setup and a stronger stock. And the second I looked at that chart, man, that was a good one. Brendan, what's up, buddy?
I did get an alert there, guys, on Nike here, 6.5%, 146.50. It actually did not break 146.50, but right at that level, huge volume going off, 6.5%, all-time highs now for Nike.
Wow. I mean, did we ever talk about that Nike trade? Yeah, and missed that one a little bit. Peloton coming back in.
What?
Wow. Thank you, Ms. V. Took me by surprise there. Thank you for the coffee. We love that here on the show. That is for sure. Okay, still looking around to see if what we can do. We are into some luck in coffee right here. Man, this was a mover earlier on, guys. So we're into this one a little bit. We'll see if we can't get out, though, of luck in coffee as it's moving around. Peloton, Neil, right back to where it was. So we're still trying to make some moves on Peloton. Doesn't look like it wants to do much right here, though.
So I should go back over to AIM, and I know this happens. I don't want to. It's not that I'm ignoring the small cap movers here. Great 250 level. I showed it you guys or I talked about it in the chat very quickly. That when it got to 250 in the pre-market, somebody right here marketed this thing down, guys. It was a big market order that took it to 44. I love that seller. Once it broke this pre-market low, I aggressively started getting out half my position. I think $2 is the ultimate target. I am still actually holding just about 35% of the position left, guys. So I still think it might be able to go a little bit further. Brendan, what's up, buddy?
One that had a monster move, if you remember, on Friday, guys. FireEye, F-E-Y-E. Remember this? Yeah, 15 up to 19.5. Starting to break higher once again. Just took out that pre-market high as well for F-E-Y-E.
Yeah, I like the FireEye name, that's for sure. Okay, yeah, good winner for C3AI, huge winner there. Peloton comes back in. Palantir, like I said, we dropped it. I mean, look at this. This is how you go like rapid fire. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% out. So that's how we trade. You guys know that. So hopefully you had that trade with us. When that went up to 27, that was a no-brainer to get some Palantir off right there. We are averaging in, man. We're going to wait till 21 breaks. This has been my only, I mean, these are all shorts. We did go nicely into the money there. We were huge, not huge, but we were decently into the trade. But now we continue to move up, man. I'm just going to give it to 21 right here. Basically the bottom on Friday. We'll give this name to 21 and see if it can go. Luck and Coffee continues to make moves to the high side. We didn't trade this one great because we did get out a little too early and actually wound up losing on some of it. This is the pink sheet way as we go. Zoom, we are into this one now, taking out the top. Maybe a little bit late, but we'll see here. It does go all the way down to 415 before we take it off. And this is the problem when you put in stop orders. Sometimes they hit a little bit prematurely on that one. I don't think we would have took that if we noticed it. But right now, Zoom to the high side. Got to give this back to at least 422, guys. Let's see if Zoom can run. Brendan, what's up?
Some of the Chinese names starting to go here a little bit. Billy, you remember on Friday had a big day as well. Yeah, this is all-time highs. For BILI, just broke $88 up there on volume, guys.
Yeah, and a good thing we got out of C3 AI, bouncing back over to VWAP, but 150, a bit of a level. If I can catch a dip off this 150 level, I'll probably take a quick little shot. It's a nice little psychological round number, so we'll be all over that. I don't know. I just got wicked out. Not wicked out. I got shaken out of CCL here. I was trying to hold off on it. in terms of where I would fade into this thing. You got to have a level to work off of, and I just kind of knew I wanted to be short, and then threw my stop at the three-quarter mark, and that's the last level I took, and it looks like it might be trying to come back in. But I'm going to hold off on any kind of re-entry point and take you guys, if I can, back over to Tesla here. Never really got the short. Of course, AI went crazy. I was looking at 680, and then you look at this 670 level. It did fail to get back to that price, so 668 looks like it's the new level to work off of. If it breaks this 657, it could be a bit of a floodgate opener to the downside here, but they are certainly selling Tesla, at least off the open. I like that 670 as a first look. If I can get it, fantastic. It's a tighter stop to the pre-market high, though.
We were still waiting for that 470, 455 on that name. We're getting some more out here. Hopefully, if we can on Palantir. There it is. Nice little win there. What's up, B?
Initial strength, guys, in some of the retailers. Have a look at Macy's here. Already gone positive on the day, obviously 1.2%, but 1040, 1050 is where it ended the day on Friday, you can see. But yeah, Macy's, some of the other retailers straight to the upside so far.
Macy's.
So playing a bit of a dip buy situation here, and it's not really off of VWAP so much as it was supposed to be, just below this like 150 mark. And again, I like the dip, and of course I just got wicked out of there on C3AI, but I didn't want to risk too much of what I'd made buying that dip. I just feel like at some point if this comes in, it could be rather ugly, but either way, if I got the bottom there, that's going to be pie in my face. I'm still looking at Tesla. I never got the break down on American Airlines, guys. I still have that order ready to go, 1550, but that is held up. We're now testing the 16 level. So CCL holding the top. I had that one on my radar. I liked AAL for a short as well, and it's trying to break out through 16 even. I don't really see anything crazy at that 16 even area. It's a decent amount of size there, like 100,000 or so on the offer. But that'll be probably enough for me to take a small fade in front of this level. I'd like it much better if it broke through and then slammed right back down. So the breakout trade getting jammed for some people. That would be the best entry point for me.
Okay, yeah, okay, so great trades today so far over there, and we're going to try to see if we can copy some of that. Zoom right now does make a bottom. We were going to get out here on a break of 422. I think we've got to average in a little bit here. If we can get some 423s, we'll do that. I don't normally average in, but I still think Zoom could be high. I mean, I'm just worried here that if the market, like that was a move on the market up. If the market falls down, I do like Zoom even more. However, they may sell this off. We're still up that 5%. I just wonder if people are going to raise capital, where they're going to do it. They may do it in Zoom. So it's coming back, though. So nice little run there. We're going to put another bid at 423. I still have, just to double check where my stop order is on Zoom, 422 break. So yeah, right down here, VWAP. Let's put another bid, 423, see if we can get it. We're averaging in, like we only have one loser today, and it's going to be CCL, and I'm taking it until 21. I've told you that, so I probably won't average in too much more, as we're pretty high right now on CCL. We did look for a lower side of things, but we'll just keep averaging in until 21. We're not putting a whole hell of a lot of risk. I like to smash it if it comes lower, but right now Carnival Cruise Line's off to the races here to the upside. Our average price is 60, so we're only down a little bit, guys. Make sure you stay hydrated. Keep that water pumping, guys.
Yeah, definitely stay hydrated when it's an active one here. FireEye, which is another name. I was looking at FireEye to take out the pre-market low 1780. I did say if it takes out the high, it's a problem. That was certainly true. 50-cent move to the upside, but nowhere near the double top from Friday in front of 20 even. If this one comes in again, I like the consolidation below 19. It might give you an opportunity to short it. It hasn't happened just yet, but it's getting close for me on FireEye. I much preferred the break downside. I thought the floodgates might open up if it happened. Brendan, what's up?
We saw that big weakness right off the bat in oil stocks, guys, and the price for oil still falling. I wanted to show you this one, QEP Resources to the downside in a big way, 8%. They are teaming up with FANG, so merger between FANG and QEP. It's all stock. Also in the group, Cenovus and Husky. That deal got approval today, guys.
Okay, okay, good. Cenovus and Husky. Okay, a little bit of Canadian action there. Thank you, Mr. Brendan. This goes all the way to 428, man, and we don't take a $2 winner on Zoom. Come on, Sean. Wake up and smell the coffee. You got to take some of those wins. So we do put another order up there. Damn it. I missed that one. Should have had that, guys. That is completely my bad. If you're trading Bitcoin right now, it's making moves back to 23,000. We did take a little long on GBTC, but not really doing too much. Just check back on Peloton. We got a nice little average in there. As we said, we're trying to defend this 41 area. So a nice little average into Peloton. Our average price now, 42.30. So we're going to see if we can't catch a winner on Peloton right now to the upside. But come on, Zoom. Damn you, Sean. We missed that. That was $2 and change in the money. We should have took that off. Was just too busy looking at other things, guys. Missed opportunity there on Peloton, but we will. Sorry, we just got out of some Peloton there. Missed opportunity on Zoom. Let's get some more long though.
Yeah, 52-week highs on Goldman. Morgan Stanley about to take, and I like Morgan this morning, and we're talking about buying a dip. I actually have a bid, which is nice and lonely, sitting right down there in front of 65. I'm looking at a 67.80 break to make some fresh highs on Morgan Stanley. It's getting rather close. The market is trying to bounce back to the upside. We talked about the positive wins for the banks here. So let's see if we can't get a look at Morgan Stanley. Tesla is testing that 655. It's getting rather close to breaking down through that. Peloton is back to break even or just slightly above it. So if it gets back to that 145, I start thinking about, do I want to take it off and get the rest of this out for a profitable trade here? But eyes on Tesla 655 and top break on Morgan Stanley, guys.
Yeah, we'll hit the bangers because, yes, Peloton, guys, what a great trade this has turned out to be. We averaged in same amount of shares. So in here, doubled it up down here to 141, 142, sorry, and then we're being a 141 break. So let's get it out now. Dollar in the money on Peloton. And then here comes Zoom, man. Let's see. I got an order upside now. So let's see if we can let this one win for us as it just continues to climb. We're doing good, man. We're almost near our highest spot of the day. Peloton dependent, of course. Or sorry, Zoom dependent, of course. CCL, though, guys, we're averaging into this short. It does fall a little bit for us there on this average, but then it comes right back up. So I'm looking at this 63 level. We're short 61. We're not huge in the money here, or out of the money, sorry, but we are getting into 21. I think this is a good spot to average in here around 80, but I don't want one stock to kill me. What's up, Bren?
Another group that's showing some strength so far, guys, the sports betting names. DraftKings here trying to go positive on the day. We were down significantly at 52. Can have a look at Penn National as well. I also just saw a headline on this one. ELYS, which is Ellis Gaming Technology, also another one in that group, trying to go positive on the day, guys.
And speaking of positive on the day, Nike's positive on the day. I mean, I don't know. This didn't go down to 137, but it certainly came close enough to this 143. There's no excuse for not having that dip. Obviously, at the same time, C3AI was a last-minute addition to what I was looking at in the last 5 minutes, so going to miss out on Nike, which is screaming towards 150. If it comes back and gives you VWAP, going to have to try to take it that way, like a 146 on a bounce.
Yeah.
Tesla was going to be the next thing I was going to look at here, but it turns out Morgan Stanley just broke the top very briefly here, that 67.80 or so. Look, 68 sort of stands out like a bit of a sore thumb. That's probably a good place, to scalp some out, maybe add on a break at the even dollar. Either way, you can't ignore that kind of a price. Goldman Sachs as well is pressing to all-time 52-week highs. So all of the banking sector most of the banking sector looking rather strong here. Morgan Stanley is just the one I happen to pick.
Yeah, I was waiting actually for let's go back to JP Morgan there. I know you just talked about them all, except for JP Morgan, which is good because that's the one that I was looking at, 124 break. So we still got that coming, hopefully sooner rather than later, but we're going to wait on that, obviously, as we go. So we're going to wait on that break. The other one, guys, look, we average into Zoom. So we got the price that we thought we wanted back to 123. This again went for us into the money. We talked about missing that 428. It does come back to 426.50. I'm still using these 420s as some outs. So that one's going to crush me a little bit, as well as CCL. Peloton still high side, though, guys. We're still 70 cents in the money on this one. I got to get out of some of these and start holding these shorts, as CCL, the only short we have. What's up, Brent?
Big move for this one again today. UAVS, the drone maker, just took out the high. 450, a big level actually on the daily chart as well for this one on volume. So you remember this one had a big run up on Friday. So another 13% today for UAVS.
Definitely a good look there. I want to, if I can, very quickly get over to DoorDash. This one, 175 is going to stick out like a sore thumb as a psychological level, but having missed out on it already, it was a pure squeeze play to the upside all afternoon on Friday. As Sean mentioned, he had a great long trade. If it even tries to come back to this VWAP, this 169, right, I'm going to dip into it, but Tesla just broke.
Yeah,
I missed it. I just got it on the way back up there at, really? I got 64.20 of all prices, but 65 I did miss. I was able to get it. Not the best price, though. Should have had a lot closer to 55 even, sorry.
Yeah, we have this one right now. So we have Tesla right where we said we would. 655 short. Let's go. Pay me. Let's go. Let's see if Tesla can go downside right now. We'll see if we can break through 650, and then we go to the lower side. So we should have taken it earlier, but I did talk about some love coming out of Tesla there due to that rebalance. It doesn't mean this is going to win. We're going to give it back to at least this 665 mark. So let's go. Tesla, nice little $2 win right now. Give it to us, Brendo.
Just checking on this one from the insurance group, Root. ROOT, 13% straight to the upside since the open here, 14.5 up to 16. Root on the run, guys.
Yeah, Tesla already testing pre-market lows here. It just hit 652, head towards 650. For me, I'm always going to scalp some out in front of it. But if it dips, bounces back off 50s, I like it up to like a 55, 56, maybe in front of like a 58 area. So I don't want to be done this story. I can tell you that Morgan Stanley is pulling back, and I don't want to give it too much past that 50 area, especially with that 68 sort of lingering in front of us right there. So if you're late to the party, you do want to have a bit of a stop on a Morgan Stanley. If it breaks 68, probably a good place to add, or just enter the trade if I've already been ticked out. We didn't talk about Moderna. Maybe we should have, but either way, there's your $6 pop. Here is 145 even, trying to put in a double top. Moderna could be in breakout territory at 145 here. Well, it already made a bit of a move here, but breaking out through 145, certainly a look. Not much on level 2, though. It just broke just now, and there's me trying to get the shares on a bit of a dip. Yeah, you know what? Unbelievable, just missed it on Moderna here. It didn't go as fast as I thought, already at 145.50. There's a bit of a seller, so I'm not going to chase it. Maybe it'll give a dip opportunity. And if it's a failed break, I kind of like that short, but I'm not going to chase Moderna too high.
No, I like that play on Moderna. That 145 level is pretty sick. Okay, Zoom, unfortunately, guys, I know pants down, I guess. We were trying this one. I did like the 426 break. It did go in the money, but now we break lower, to the point where we basically have a very, very small position now left on Zoom. So not much really happening on this one. So yeah, I don't really have a target now. We're just holding a little bit of shares here. Maybe give it to that 418 spot now on Zoom, but it just keeps on going to the downside. So we definitely got to watch out for that. Our Carnival, though, it's trying to go. We'll wait to see here. We are short. We did short again at 80. I do have targets downside of Carnival. I don't want to drop this one. I think this could be a nice little home run for us. Let's wait and see. We're pretty flat on Peloton. This was one of my biggest winners on the day. But look, man, everything's coming back here. So some of our Peloton outs right here, 140.20. There it is. If we break 140, we're out. So now Peloton, good trade. But again, we get bowled over a little bit on our last little piece. So we should have got them out more on the high side. But what can you do? Now we just kind of hold these shorts, man. We're waiting for Tesla right back to where we got it. Maybe it's not going down. And then CCL as well, waiting for this one. So a couple shorts on board here. Like I said, I'm a little nervous about today's trade, guys. What's up, Pete?
You mentioned BFT, guys, which is that PaySafe from over in the UK. This is their first go-around. So Foley Trasimene, the acquisition corporation. BFT is actually their second SPAC. This is their first SPAC. WPF in New York. They're talking with Blackstone-backed Alight, which is a benefits provider in the U.S. So rumors circling around this WPF, guys.
We did forget a little bit about Open Door. There was no opportunity really here unless you're really, really quick off of the open at 30.60. It was a little bit tight. I like that break, but I said I would let it settle down. It's coming all the way back in here. Morgan Stanley just touched that 68, so I did take a third out in front of that level. I'll consider adding on a dip if I can, but that's been a good one, so we'll go Superman for that. I am looking at the bottom here on Open Door, that 28 level. It's just a pre-market low. If it can defend it or consolidate a little bit above that, I'm going to be jumping into it. Just saw a seller on Tesla at 655 even for about, I swear I saw like 25,000 shares. It could be around that number. Might be that place where I'll dip into some more shares in front of 65. But Open Door, I am looking for a dip in front of 28. If it defends that price, great. It's not quite there yet. 29, the current low on the open.
Okay, so we do have JP Morgan long. We just took it at 124 even. Again, guys, it goes all the way to 124.18. So we didn't take any profit out there on JP Morgan, but we'll wait to see. 124.18, the high. We are short 124. Sorry, long 124 now. And I'm only going to give this one right to about here, 123.20. So we'll see if we're going to hold this one for about 60, 70 cents against us. We'll see if we can't scalp a little bit out around the quarters and then higher than that. hopefully, fingers crossed on that move. So that's JP Morgan. Zoom, I want to take a 421 break. Just test this one more time. Use 418 as a bottom. So right now, you can see the positions we have. I'm pretty comfortable with all of them. They're around flat right now. CCL has come back. We're short 63s right now as an average price. Is that what it shows? 62, okay, so it's 60. Oh, it rounds it down. It's 62,478. Okay, so we're short right now. A CCL right here. You can take that with us if you like it. JP Morgan, we're long. And then, honestly, man, Tesla does make that move down to that 650 mark. I thought we were going to break 650. It does not. So now we got to watch out for an upside break now, maybe, on Tesla. It looks like it bounces once again off that 650. Talked about this being a cult stock, man. They love some Tesla.
Yeah, and if we get up through that like 660 mark, and I have to take off Tesla, but I am looking for a rollover at that price. If it does make a turn off of 660, I try to jump into some shares. It's below VWAP. It's going to be this. It's going to be that shot that I almost have to take. I wanted to be selling Tesla today, and I did not get that 675, 680, 675 to 680 area off the open. Brendan.
Another one having a pretty good day here. Smile Direct Club, 4% to the upside, just broke 1250 there on a volume spike. 1280, that last little recent pivot there, and then $13 right above that. Coming into play here for Smile Direct. Don't see any headlines, guys.
My number one stock today is Palantir. We can look back at that one as it just does drop down to 26 there. We should maybe took a long. Actually, is Palantir my number? Yeah. It's my number one stock profit-wise. Palantir. So we are going to watch it. It's coming back up to VWAP right now. That's that 2650. We spanked 2650 long the first time, guys. So that we're looking at that one more time when it does come. We did get more Zoom shares right now. So let's see. We're going to go back to Zoom long now. 421 break. So we did take that. It's just hovering around right now. Looks like it wants to make moves to the downside, but 418 coming maybe faster than we thought. So let's watch out, man. 418 is our out on Zoom. If we're lucky enough, like our average price is 421, 421.50, sorry. If we can get some out here, VWAP gives us exactly $1. So I think that's worth taking some out. And then we'll just see if we can't get back to this 424 level. So let me put some orders, 422.50 or so to get that dollar right back to VWAP. I think we got to be happy if we could get that. Tesla, 662 a little bit. We'll get out, but the ultimate out's going to be up here, 665. There we go. We get some out of Tesla. Oh, no, we didn't. We're trying to get some out of Tesla very, very soon on that break, guys, but still making moves the upside. We're short that name. Ugh.
Yeah, roller coaster. I had the bad short there, and it's going to take me out there. So we're going to take a hit on Tesla. I was able to quickly reverse on that VWAP break and then get some out for a quick little scalp trade to the long side. But overall, still going to be down on Tesla. No pink shorts for me, unfortunately. Maybe Peloton will catch a bit of a bid here. It holds at 140. Able to get some more shares on the dip. But if I look at VWAP here and ignore this and don't take any of this out, that's a little crazy to me. So going to dip out of some of this Peloton right in front of 142. If it holds 140, probably worth a reload. But I don't want a good trade to turn to a bad one. We're trying to slay that Peloton dragon. And Tesla, oh Elon, you got me today. Heading back downside here is open. It is 28 that I like. I have a bid down here, but if it does consolidate maybe at 28.50, I would be open, bad pun, to taking it long in front of that level, just a little bit further away from 28 even. Brendan?
We mentioned some of the Chinese names showing some strength here, guys, early on. Here's another one. Baidu had a big run up last week, if you remember, on EV rumors for Baidu. Yeah, just taking out $200 again as we speak, 3.5% for Baidu.
I guess we could check out some Chinese names as well today, like Alibaba as well as Baidu. Okay, so here we go, guys. This could be a difference maker for me with CCL coming now to the downside. We already got blown out right there off of some of these shorts, but we rebuilt the short. We didn't get blown out of everything, but we did get blown out of enough. Now we're back down to 43s. So a good little trade here happening for me on this side of things for CCL right now as we continue to march lower, man. I think this is way overstated, this stock today, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Look, more virus, more bad news for CCL. That's bottom line here. The travel industry is going to get hit. More restrictions coming, I feel. Let's go to the bottom right now. 30 cents in the money. Flip it over for right now for CCL. But our Zoom's not wanting to go, guys. It stops at 422 again. So we're going to take a hit on Zoom. It looks like all these recover plays going up and not really doing too much, but not having the legs that we thought. Peloton was a winner for us, but we did have to get out some there. Looks like this is trying to come back. Let's just hope Zoom wants to go as well. What's up, Brendan?
A lot of action in SPAC world so far. This is New Province acquisition. If you remember last week, NPA popped up on the radar when they announced they were teaming up with Space Mobile, guys, the Vodafone-backed Space Mobile. So big pop here, 5% for NPA.
Yeah, nice try there. Open with the fake out there at 28. I had this one on level 2. Broke that 28 even very briefly, and then you saw the bid just drop all the way down like a 27.50 and then slam right back up. So failed break downside so far, immediately giving you a nice little retracement play here. And again, quickly going to scalp out like just under 50 pennies there. If it gets back up to 30, I'll be very, very happy with this trade. But I'm going to defend that 28 area. The only question, of course, is going to be the spread, and it's going to open up a little bit, so you have to tread cautiously on this name. But there was liquidity at that 28, despite the fact you couldn't see things. And a lot of dark pools going off. We have routing keys with access to those dark pools, so I would tread cautiously if you don't have access to some of that dark liquidity, which there is quite a bit of on open.
Okay, we're going to try to go Nike long through 145.25 here. We did talk about that we liked it, obviously, on earnings, digital sales, everything making moves here for Nike. But again, we got to be very, very careful. I'm going to use the bottom of 144.50 if we're going to be wrong on Nike. Again, like negativity in the world today, Nike pulling back down here. But again, you know, their digital sales were really great. And I just think this could also be another COVID play, but we're going to wait. And if it goes great, we'll have it. We'll take this long right now through. There we go. Did we get it? I didn't see. Yes, we did. There it is. So 145. What's my price? 145.29. So we're long right now. You can have this with us. I'm going to use this as a bottom. 144.50 bottom here on Nike. But we are long right now. Nike, we're short Tesla. And that's kind of doing nothing right here, Neil. I mean, it does make a move up to 664. We were using 665 as our out, so that's come back down a little bit here. JP Morgan ripping to the high side there, out 16s. That was a good out. Let's see if it continues to go. But banks right now, Tesla. Our biggest problem right now is Zoom. It's going to break 418. We'll get out of this one. Big loss today on Zoom, guys.
Yeah, and open finding some resistance. The same way there was a support at 28 without a big buyer there, sort of that fake breakout to the breakdown. Similar thing just happened at 29. So, you know, fake breakthrough up through 29. Couldn't catch a bid there. I'll take some out if it shows me any kind of a buyer a little bit higher. And my next third will have to be at 29 even. Then I'll try to hold the last bit to VWAP here and 30 on open. I still think I can get $1.50 off of it, but that'll probably be on the last third of my shares. It'll have to be closer to $1 on the majority of it. It's already 10 o'clock. Time for Happening Now with Brendan at the big screen.
All right, guys, let's have a look at North American markets. Not as bad as a lot of us were expecting so far this morning. Yeah, a lot of red up here, but only 1.25% for the S&P. The Dow under that 1% now, so 0.7% to the downside for the Dow. Both the NASDAQ Composite and 100 plus 1%, 1.25% for the 100 there. For the NASDAQ, the Russell small cap 1% here in Toronto. The TSX about 1%, 1.5% down in Brazil. You get the story. We saw 3+% over in Europe, so not as bad. Few things from the watch list to keep in mind, guys. Love here, Southwest. Keeping my eye on some of the airlines. This one showing some relative strength. 44.75, 45 area. If you go to the daily chart, decent level for Southwest here, so still down, but looking to maybe start to hold higher for some of these airlines. Let's shift over to Wish. The other IPO we had last week also starting to hold higher, trying to test this 24 level that came into play. It was actually late in the day on Friday for Wish. So a couple of ideas still kind of lingering around, guys. Back over to you.
A couple good ideas happening on my side as well right now, Brendo, with a 145.25 win long and then win upside 50. We get out there. We'll get out some more right now. It's right at VWAP. Let's see if we can get some more out of Nike right here. A nice little 50-cent win here going high. Oh, we almost got filled up. We're in the 80s right now on Nike. See if we can't get that. Look at CCL. Continues to march down. We did break that VWAP. We're making back what we lost on this initial short. So that's a good one. But what's not happening right now is Tesla. We thought it had a chance to go back downside there. Stops at 658. Don't know. We're going to get the majority. Well, we'll get 2/3 out if we break above 662, and then we'll wait for 665. But that one does not look like a good one. Okay, come on, Nike. You need to keep going, man. 146 coming. It does stop right there at VWAP. 145.70. So I think that, again, 50-cent win right now for Nike, looking good. But there goes Zoom. Zoom breaks to the downside. I mean, just coming down. So we'll be out of Zoom. Zoom, a horrendous trade today. So I don't know. Zoom slayed us. I mean, pretend this is me chasing after Zoom and then Zoom turning around and punching us in the face. But there it goes. We tried the long man. Zoom to the downside. Can't get them all, but we definitely don't have that one. But we do have CCL. We talked about resisting that 21. Now back to the downside. As long as you didn't get out of your initial shorts, you'd be fine right now. But we day trade here. I scalp, and that Zoom was a breaker. So, that CCL right there broke me out at 50. But now we're coming to the downside. Wish we had held it all, but a nice little win coming for us here on Zoom.
Yeah, and good look over there. I mean, I missed out on Zoom was one I wanted to be trading today, but just too much off of the open. I try to limit the number of symbols as best as possible. Open just bounced off at 28 again. My stop is on the south side of that. A hard stop at even dollar is not going to work on that name. It's just not going to happen for you. I can go back over to Morgan. It did break to 67.50, so it'll be a muted trade for me. I got out in front of 68. Thought there might be some resistance, and there was, but 67.50 also breaks. It'll be slightly down on Morgan Stanley. I'm not going to be shorting this turn off of VWAP. I missed a turn on CCL. It is what it is. I got a little bit here of reentry at 48, and then tried to get all over this consolidation and couldn't get any more shares. So I'm glad Sean's got it, because I wanted to be short this name, and I'm finding hard to add to it. It might end up being around this 2015, 20 even on a break, or I could maybe catch a pullback into VWAP here. But either way, I got to find my way into a few more shares. Peloton finally breaks 140, so that long is over and done with. We'll be up on it, but I thought the dip buy would be a little bit better on Peloton. Unfortunately, it was not. Brendan, what's up, buddy?
A couple of the clean energy names starting to pop up here. CLNE, first off, just about to make a day high here through 590. There it goes, coming up to $6. This is 52-week highs for CLNE. They announced this morning they're teaming up with Total SE to further develop some of their initiatives into renewable energy and biofuels. Guys.
Oh, man, Tesla breaks at 663. It looks like it wants to keep going up. But look at the market. Like, this is the thing that really pisses me off. I mean, Tesla's off right now, guys. I mean, big move upside. The market going down, and look at Tesla really starting to go there. It touches 668. Almost like there was news there on Tesla, but we dumped it. 662, like we said. We still got a third left. I guess we got to wait for 668 now. That was a nice little top there. I don't know. It just all of a sudden got ramped up there, considering the future's going down. Was not expecting that one there for you, Tesla. But 668, possibly we could get into another short there, but this name just keeps on going. 667, 668. Let's watch out for Tesla here. I think another short is probably appropriate, maybe right around here, and then we'll use 668 as our out. But right now, we've been wrong today on Tesla, but only 1 for 1. So we'll wait to see. 58, 55 was our short, goes in the money 3 pennies, and then we wind up losing $3, then we wind up losing 7. But here it comes back to the downside. Let's get a little more short here, and then use 668 as our out. But right now, Tesla acting a little funny, in my opinion.
New position alert for me, FireEye, which I was going to short off of the bottom break here. That didn't happen. We said it's all kinds of trouble if it takes out the pre-market top. Now just turned around at 2070 here. So I'm looking at this consolidation lower off of a 2050 level. I'm not going to give it to the high of the day. It's just entirely too strong to do that at 10:06. But if it does break out through 2050, I'll get out and then think about where I'm getting back into this one. I still like the possible retracement on FireEye. I've been trying to be patient with it, but finally dipped my toes into FireEye. I got an average price of 2024 here. I would add one more time if I could, but I'd like to see it test 2050 one more time before I did that. Brendan?
So we had that big move in Fubo TV last week on their inclusion to one of the smart TV operating systems. So we had this 1, 2, 3, now 4-day move to the upside. Just took out $44 there on volume. They also said this morning, I'll pull this up so you guys can have a look, that they're going to consider exclusive sports content in new deals. So Fubo TV looking for exclusivity in the sports arena, guys.
Oh, as quickly as I tried in front of FireEye, it does break the top. So this is why I put a tighter stop on this one at that 2050. I didn't want it testing that high on me and then giving too much room. It does feel like it wants to make another push. Current tops, 2067. If it tries to fail here, I'll take it. I'll probably try a short around 2050, but if it breaks the high, all bets are off, and I'd look to see what happens at 21. Maybe it could do a fail break at that price.
Okay, I'm just getting ready here, and just in case Nike does break back to the downside, trying to get some more long. We're trying to defend this 144-ish area here. So good out there. We were talking about it when it was up to VWAP there, and we should have. I mean, coulda, woulda, shoulda. We should have got out more there on that VWAP break, so my bad on that one. Okay, but here goes CCL to the downside now. So this is a nice trade. We'll see if we can't bid out some more here on CCL, just get them out. I like this as a bottom break. That's why we took it initially, breaking back down below this VWAP. That's where we got majority out. Then we break this 25 level, which was kind of in here. So we did go a little more short there, now getting out 10s and everything. So CCL, a good winner for us, thank God. Today we do have CCL on the mind and on the watch there. And then Tesla, we tried it one more time, guys. So we did take another short here at 660, what was it, 665, I think? 664.90. So now that's $1 out. We're going to try it, man. 668 breaks, we're out on Tesla. So it looks like that does want to continue to the high side. Watch out. We do have break spots here of 672. So if it wants to keep going, it looks like it does. 672 coming in on Tesla. But look, if I can get a VWAP retracement back down here, I think it may take some off at 660 if we're lucky enough to get that. But Tesla right now, cooking with gas, man. Just straight to the upside. A nice little retracement, though, on Nike. Should have got some more at 144.50. We'll change our order type to put it there. But right now, VWAP looking really nice at 65 if we could take that out.
Yeah, and just going to quickly, like, obviously, I know you're still in Tesla, and I'm looking at that same sort of thing here. But there is this opening range top at 668.50 or so before you get to that pre-market high at 74. So that 75 to 80 might have to wait. If it rolls over here, I'm going to take a shot at 668. FireEye, nothing yet. It did test the high, barely broke it. If it fails to get to 21 and then gives me a shot back through 2050, that's what I was waiting for. There is that moonwalk. Thank you guys for all of those, all of the likes. If you like what you're seeing here, it's been an active morning. Forget about the fact that it's a holiday week. There is plenty moving in this market. FireEye about to take that top off, and Tesla running into some resistance. I've already lost shorting it. I had a scalp win short, a scalp win long, but the real trade was a loser for me in the middle. I'm going to look for that 668 first, and then look, 675 to 680 was a level I liked pre-market anyway, so might have 3 swings at Tesla before it's said and done.
Yeah, we've had a lot of swings at Tesla, a lot of swings at Zoom as well. And I don't want to take another one. Zoom is all the way back down. We did take this early. We should have took this off, but then now Zoom making moves to the downside. Nike, guys, right back to these levels. So I'm just debating here. Should we just, I mean, we might as well take some out at 50. It just completely stops there at 145. What? Like, where are my orders here? 145. Oh, 88. I never switched it. We went right to VWAP there, and I didn't have an order. That's on me, but we did mean to get that out there. I thought I had it. It was 88 I put it out at, meant to put it at 68. So we missed that out there on Nike, but it does go back up. So let's wait to see what happens. I think it's Brendo time.
Yeah, I mentioned that CLNE, Clean Energy, earlier. Here's another one, Pola Power, if you remember. POLA up 13%, just broke that pre-market high there. Not a huge move yet, but look at the volume coming into POLA, guys.
Pola Power. The power on Airbnb seems to be out. As it just pulled, I mean, this is on a dime at 150 in VWAP, but it's continuing to show a little bit of weakness here, pulling back in on Airbnb. If it gets back and you're looking, maybe it's the afternoon, it's hard to sort of predict when it could be, but if we hold the bottom on Airbnb, watch for a 150 break. It's going to stand out like a sore thumb when it goes, but you don't want to miss it. I'm still glued. I missed a turn on Tesla there at 65, unfortunately, but my eyes are peeled on FireEye, which is continuing to hold the top. It just tried to get to 21. It did not get there. If it breaks this level here, this 20 even, I'm likely to dip into a short on that way. I do have an order ready to go if that happens, but I'm still looking for a turn near this high that I can play off of. I went 0 for 1 on the short. I'm going to try several times, likely on FireEye, to see if it can't come back in. 20 even would be the break. That's all I got right now.
We take a sip there. Remember to stay hydrated. Coffee, water, everything. Vodka, whatever you prefer. Okay, 660. I know we got Randy waking up over there. 661 and change. We talked about this coming through. We did get some out. We did reload here. Tesla's a losing stock for us, but this is just a matter of time before we can get right back into the money. And that's if we come back here. 658 looks like a good drop spot there. I still want to hold this. I'm debating getting some out where we initially got in, but if I like that short, then I should like it through that spot. So 656. I'm really debating taking a $5 win on some of this here on Tesla. So let's wait to see 656 if we can get it, but we may have just got too greedy. I talked about getting some out as we approach VWAP, and we didn't once again. What's up, Brendo?
Another one to the downside here, guys. Unicure, which is Q-U-R-E, almost 18%. It is trying to hold this 38 level, though. Just heads up, there's a buyer at 38. For Unicure, they had an FDA hold, clinical hold, placed on one of their blood disorder treatments, guys.
Yeah, and of course, there goes fire again. Down below that 2050, it's a hard enough turn that I'll try the same short that we had before, basically the same thing. It's like a 35 area off of like a 50 to 60. If it breaks 20, you're going to see some acceleration. I'll probably add to the position on a 20 break after scalping some off. So it's going to be the same old story. That Fubo is... yeah, 45 even about to come into play here. I'd be looking like, you see a steady move like this, not the time to fade. If it breaks a level and goes parabolic instead of this nice little steady climb, I think that would get me into thinking about a short, but you're probably still looking at breakouts on Fubo. Certainly, the story is obvious here, what it's been doing on the daily chart. This one has shown no signs of turning around just yet, so 45 break for a scalp certainly in the cards for me.
Yeah, we can also check out here what's going on with Softy. So Tesla is still trying to work it. We'll wait on that one. This is Mr. Softy, by the way. Okay, coming up, we did get to 220. Wow, today. Wow. Okay, right off the open, 220. Big move up there. We do chart these dark prints, so if you do see some of these wicks downside, that's what those are. Not that we think it's going there or anything like that, but those are dark prints. So if you do see that, you will see that also on our Tesla chart from Friday, because there's a lot of action up there on that 695 print. Softy coming back to the downside. Look at the NASDAQ finally starting to break. Look, I was very, very negative about today, and it looks like now finally starting to pay off. And the only thing we have short now is Tesla, and we'll see if that can break. I'm actually just going to cancel this Tesla short. I think we can even break even lower maybe than this 655. I am very, very aware of this 651, 652. I don't know if Tesla can free fall. We're in the money now, about $2 off of this. You can see 661.40 is our short. We're going to crack through 660, putting us that $2-3 in the money. But again, I still think that we can get lower here on Tesla, going back to even Friday. This is kind of some of the spots where we stopped, right? This is why we like the short there, 655. We talked about that. And then you do have this 648. So I know Neil got out of one of his positions there around this 650 level. I think that was a good move, obviously, as it goes back to 665. So let's just watch out here. I feel like I'm getting greedy, not taking something out at this VWAP, but I'm going to give this to down here, man, 654. So, Brendan, give it to us one more time.
Yeah, VUZIX, guys. Remember that VUZI, V-U-Z-I? This thing's had quite the run from $4.50 up to $9 on Friday. We're starting to go again, $8.50 being tested here. They announced this morning that their virtual reality glasses or augmented reality glasses were used for the first successful entire knee replacement in the U.S. over the weekend, guys.
Vuzi, and was it Citron was like, we wouldn't short that high flyer, and of course you saw it run to the upside. Bruce, thank you for the super chat. Wow, I'm looking at Kiro here, and we talk about this all the time. Day 2 on a play, you should be all over it. Kiro, we're looking at, of course, on Friday. Look at this break of support. All afternoon, whether you want to talk about 15.15 or 14.85 or just the pre-market low of 15.30, all of those so far looking good. Chase, I don't know if I will, but if I'm going to come in here, I would probably think about something around that 85 to 15. It's just, I'm a little bit late to that party, like I said. So I got a few shorts on right now. CCL, I was really late to. AIM, which is fantastic. I'll cover that one a bit, but it's given zero troubles whatsoever. FireEye has given me some concern. Most recently, again, bouncing off this 20 area. 2007 is this low. It just bounced off of 2010-ish. If it breaks, I want to take out like a quarter of it in front so that I could maybe reload it at 50. It doesn't even want to give me that. I am adding to this position on a 20 break. If it breaks 20, I think that's when you can be a little more confident in that going really to the downside. Open cannot seem to break off of this 28 level. Now, it got to 29 once. I was able to scalp off 50 pennies. If it does break the second time, I will probably take 70 to 80 cents and then look for a move into VWAP. It just can't seem to do it the same way this can't break upside and give me more than a scalp win. FireEye can't break downside and give me even a scalp victory on that one. But FireEye still has a ways to go. And Looks like it's going to test that 20 one more time here.
Yeah, it looks like CCL is going to go back upside as well now, breaking back through 50. But I do think that this is a good spot to maybe average in. I mean, we were short. Our best outs like in the teens, and then now we're right bouncing up against VWAP again here. Okay, so I think this is a decent opportunity to get short ahead of 2050, but we're already short, so we will average into a little bit. Our average price is 2023. Don't let that confuse you there. We've made a lot of money back on this name, so my short is relatively light, but we should get some more. Tesla, though, guys, bounced off this 58 level. I re-put a bid, guys, 56s down here. If we can get that, that may be a little, I mean, we've bounced off 58 again right there. Now, watch the NASDAQ starting to puke here. So we may be able to get this 56 and then we'll hold the rest and see what the other downside is here for Tesla. But really excited to get this. We're now $3 in the money. Let's see if we can get it. I don't know why I'm waiting for 56. What is this level? 57. I think we got to switch it over to. If we can get some 57 50s or so, I think that's a good trade here for us on Tesla.
It's a trap. It's a trap. Well, I don't know if it is, but I just got into some more shares on that 20 break in FireEye, and just immediately someone decided, I don't know who they are, but let's market it back up to 2010. So it is what it is. I'm looking for VWAP retracement. As you can see, I do have a couple of orders there, but that's not all. I will still be in position if we take out VWAP at 1970. I just think we can get back to that quarter mark easily, maybe even 19, guys. But that was a buyer that said, no way, no how. So far, we are bouncing back to the upside. I would definitely have to take some off at 2025. I cannot give this new entry all the way back to 2050. That would be a little reckless, given what I just saw. FireEye is coming down. I did scalp a little bit for a 25-cent win, but I am holding and then did add to that position as well. It is a time for the small cap recap. Wow, bit of a missed opportunity on one of these. Let's go to Brendan at the big screen.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at some of the small cap names we were talking about in the pre-market. We never actually got to this one. On the watch list, though, IG on the NASDAQ. Yes, still 82% here. This is a micro cap stock with a very, very small float. So I had huge hesitations on this one, trying to be short on this because of its small float. And I mean like 4 million shares on the float. $8 up here, huge level if you go out to the daily chart. This thing initially broke down. That got me interested on the open. The retest of 760, 775 gave you a great opportunity. All the way down to $6 now for IG, very, very small little pharmaceutical company. CRBP, the one we mentioned right above the or before the open, I mentioned $2 here. Any kind of test of $2 would have given you a better opportunity, but pretty easy trade there, stress-free. And yeah, Neil's been talking about this one. AIM Immunotech 250 test gave you a great opportunity. Was resistance in the pre-market here. We're all the way down to 210 for AIM Immunotech. Pretty easy scalps in small cap world so far, guys.
Oh man, it's hot dogs now. Finally, we get some hot dog winners here as, yeah, things are now starting to make some sense. We did not average into CCL. Bad decision on that one. We should have, because that would have been sweet on that average in, but hell yeah, bangers all over the place right now. Oh yeah, check in on Tesla, guys. Look at that out. We take it at 57.50, just like we said we were gonna up our out there. We were not gonna wait for 56. We get some out, 2/3 out right now, 57.50 on Tesla, 57.55, I think, just in case you guys are following along at home. 657.57 was our out right there. So that's marked and gone. These wicks, again, guys, those are dark pool prints up to 695 where we traded on Friday. So like I said, you may continue to see some of those. Good trade though, hell yeah, on the good trade side of things there. CCL, guys, back down. We talked about that one. And the only one that's struggling right now is Nike. But this is pie in my face because how many times is it going to come up to VWAP and I'm not going to do anything about it? We had a bad order placement there, but we did take a winner once again. So we're still waiting on Nike. But we're back from the dead, guys. We actually started trading. Most of our positions came in there and saved us, including Tesla. We're still short 664, $4 or $5 in the money, back to positive, guys.
Yeah, and this fire just continues to battle here at 20. It ticked down. It got to like 1990. And then once again, a market buyer just sort of stepped up and tried to take it to the upside. There's some dark pool prints that are going off at 2010. But for the most part, it is 1990 to 20 even where the battle is being waged. And it's going to be crazy for me not to at least consider. My price right now is 2017 because the bulk of the position was up here on this 2036 area. If I'm not going to take off 40-cent wins here, I'm kind of being a little bit crazy given what I'm seeing. So you can see me dip out of a few shares in this range. If it breaks the VWAP, I'm still going to try and hold on to some, and it is working. I'm in the money on this short, but the buyers in front of VWAP are a little bit relentless here, so going to have to take profit off a little bit early. Brandon, what's up, bud?
There's always one, guys. We have to have our daily dose of Halt Fest. This one, LMNL, 50%. It's been halted 3 times already. It looks like up 50%. It's actually a little Canadian company. Piper Sandler coming out today with an overweight rating on Liminal Biosciences, which is a $120 million market cap and a $9.5 million float. So small. Yeah, LMNL, 45% now, guys.
Yay, Halt Fest. Why not? But this one already coming back. Like, this is what you look for in a Halt Fest, is either you get a halt and then a reopen downside, or just the redonkulous pullback. So you immediately look at this like 575 area and just sort of say below that price, previous halt, and low on the reopen, you're looking at to sell it all day long, but you watch out for those low floats. FireEye is ridiculous. 20 does hold. I'm going to get out of all of it if it breaks 20 and a quarter, the way I'm seeing this get bought at VWAP. I did take some out for a 40-cent win, so the scalp trade's still working for me. This IG, I don't know. I couldn't get locates on it, but if it comes back to VWAP and I can get some, I'll be looking at it as well. But great look by Brennan on that particular name. I do need to go back over to Open. I mean, wow, Open Door, you're killing me here. I'm trying to get some out now in front of like 28.90. The spread, every time it gets up here, like you look at this ridiculous sell-off, just one candle right down, opens up the spread 50 or 60 cents. That's showing a little bit more weakness than I was anticipating, but it is holding steady at 28 even. So for now, Open Door does look good, but it needs to break out in that 29 area. I'll get some out, like I said, all morning long, but I'm still waiting for that VWAP retracement. It just gets sold every single time it pops.
Yeah, I mean, talking about VWAP retracement, we're doing the same thing there on Nike, looking for a VWAP retracement there. Oh, you know what stock we haven't talked about today? What the hell? Yeah, next time this happens, let us know, because NIO is normally a stock that we're all over here. One of the best stocks to day trade, it looks like, again today, and we missed it. It does the typical move. Those of you that watch me trade NIO, you know we wait for this. Here's the move down to 45, and then there they say, no, we love NIO too much, and then it rips up. Look at this out, or look at this in right here, sorry, 46.25. Like, again, we talk about our missed opportunities all the time, and I just think that this is one right here. And if you're trying to learn, this is a great spot for NIO. It's bouncing up here off the open. You do get a positive day for NIO, and then look, it bounces at this 46 quarters. How many times? Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Comes back down off of VWAP, and then the break. Guys, honestly, that's a hot dog trade. We don't have it, but that's exactly the kind of setup that you're looking for. Don't want to miss that next time. Right now, though, here goes Tesla, guys. We're still short from here, 665. Looking to put that one in the bank there on Tesla, but really upset that we missed that NIO trade. So I'm going to go back and try to find a new one. But look, we're still breaking like higher, higher, higher. Ooh, we are near close to 2 o'clock, which was Friday's high of 47.65 right now. Okay, we're getting close. That could be a breakout spot here. No idea why the EV space is going this crazy today, but we are up that 2%. And I just think that people want to get their money into NIO for that second half run, or well, first half run in the new year, but a second move past 50 here coming for NIO, I feel.
Yeah, and what a move it is. It's just catching a little bit off guard there is NIO. But one other name we did talk about Boeing with its news. It didn't look. It never really gave you any kind of a shot to dip into some of the levels that I liked, whether it was going to be 200 or 204. But it is rounding into a sort of I don't know, like whether you want to call it like a little wedge at the top here. 216 going to be that top end range. If it fails to break it, this could roll over at VWAP. And with the market looking like it wants to test back towards this little bottom, looking at both the ES and the NASDAQ. You know, Boeing could be a bit of a guilty party breaking VWAP at 214 and be a bit of a short for you. FireEye, if it breaks 2025, I already said I'm going to get out of all of it. I'm not going to average into that trade. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. But I am going to go back over to AI. This was, for me, the best trade all morning. I did miss. Look, this is probably, it's a bit frustrating to be able to take a $10 winner and then want to dip buy off of VWAP, not given enough room. Because I was giving it to 150 instead of VWAP, which is probably a bit of a mistake there. I should have given an extra 50, 60 cents. And then you get a second $10 push to the upside. That is come and gone. And now we're getting some consolidation off a 154 top and then right here, 152. And this wants to pull back in. Obviously, there's a lot of room to retrace. However, I'm thinking the other way here. If C3 AI can hold out through 150, that same pullback from earlier, this could have an afternoon run on it, and I'd be looking at like a 156 potential break. So throw that one in the back pocket. I'd still be thinking the long trade. Maybe it rolls over, but I'm not looking short on C3 AI. I'd like to see it break as long as it can hold this 150 throughout the next hour or so.
Okay, so JP Morgan, we took a little bit of a loss out at 123.50 on the 124 break, but I'm loving this again. If we can break back above 123, we're going to go long on JP Morgan. Good bottom again off here. It could be a short. Like, this is actually setting up for a short, the same way we just talked about whatever that's NEO. It's the same kind of setup where you look like you can break 121.96, then you run up to VWAP stop and then pop back down. So this could be another short downside, 122 short down to 121. So I'm going to take this short, breaking 121.95 if JP Morgan goes to the downside, or we wait for a VWAP break to the upside on that one. So a couple trades we're thinking about right there. Okay, so Nike, we get averaged in now to this position. This is a spot that we like, but we are very cautious of the market right now. So we did take some more shares on Nike right here. 120, whoops. There we go, now the chart's better. 144.30 was our in. It looks like we're getting ready to break. So watch out for a 144 break. We'll dump these just to make sure we have that order. Yes, on a 144 break, we'll get out of some of these, but Nike on the retracement back up looks to be okay. But this time we're not going to be so silly and wait for VWAP. If we can get a 145, we'll take some out right there. Brendan again.
Another one to look at, guys. CRISPR Therapeutics, another one that's been very, very strong over the past month or so. 110 down here. We're at 165, 12% today. So just going to double check on CRSP. We have an interesting day, to say the least, both in Europe and also in North America. We saw off the top of the show some pretty big red numbers in Europe. Let's check in with Valeria. She's watching what's going on over in Europe. About an hour left. V, what's up?
Hey, Brandon. Yes, European shares are in very negative territory due to the new strain of coronavirus. Travel stocks suffer, with IG trading in London is down more than 9%. Back to you.
Yeah, speaking of Europe, guys, coming up at about 11:15, make sure you stick around and join us. Scott Bradley from the LSE going to be stopping by talking about record-setting volumes and record-setting activity as far as trade activity on the LSE over the year of 2020. So interesting stuff to discuss with Mr. Bradley coming up at about 11:15, guys.
Thank you very much, Brennan. The second Sean noticed NEO here pushing to the upside, I went immediately to XPeng and see, of course, a similar push, but this is one where it's that time of day as well where I start thinking about fading into it. You look at this on Friday, pre-market highs 48.20, failed to break through that price, stalling out at 49. On the idea that it would roll over shy of that, I'd be looking first at 48. If it does make a turn there, I'll be all over it. But then if it breaks that price, I'll probably take another shot at 49. 48.80 was Friday's high, technically speaking. But I'm definitely going to have a look here at XPeng instead of NEO for the rollover trade. And we just got to, I want to thank Anthony for the super chat there. FireEye, I've been short this a couple of times here. You're asking if it's going to go to 21. I've moved my stop down here. Because look, if it can't continue this rollover, I keep talking about all the buying that's been going on when it tries to break 20 even. I'm not even going to let it test that 21. If it breaks 20.25, I kind of feel like it's going to make that test at 21 even. And if it does do that, I just try to jump back in at a better price. If it goes from here, that's fantastic. But I'm not adding to this position at all. It needs to drop right here, right now. I had a fantastic price, and I might have. I don't know. I wanted to be adding when it broke that 20, which is what I did. It just feels like that might have cost me some money, because if I had not done that, added this position here, certainly I could be thinking about dipping into some more shares in front of that 2025 instead of kind of holding what I already have, guys.
Okay, yes, we still have that. Valeria's tweeting as that live, or messaging as that live trading by Trader TV. So if you want to see Valeria on there, you'll see her responding to some of those chats. So what's up, Valeria? Okay, XPEV right now, another name here. We looked at NEO. We did miss that one, but let's try not to miss XPEV right now, 47.50. I mean, these moves. Come on, chart. These moves looking good to the upside. Come on. There it is, 46 break. Like, look at that. We missed that again. Again, consolidation back to VWAP, bust higher. Great looking trade rate there on XPeng. So 46.50 maybe on a short back in. I don't know about that. This one, though, Tesla does. Come on, charts. Tesla does make a move back to 664. We're going to wait to see about 665, where we're short to get out. But here comes Tesla breaking now back down. Watch a VWAP break of 660 and then lower. I actually think Tesla can, I mean, we're down 4.5 or 5%. I just see lower lows coming on Tesla today. And the reason why, and it's not about, I mean, look, I'm an owner of the stock, so that's for sure. But 670, we've resisted this break a couple times. We just tried 665 again. And then if we can break back this 650, then the next mark, this is so key right here. This is 648. I know this looks ridiculous. Like, why would Sean say that this is key? But if we could just zoom in just a little bit more and I can go back to Friday, it's just like right here, when we broke this 648, like we broke 650 here and then bounced 648, retraced back to 660. Then on the way back, we tried it again. And then once we broke right here, this was pretty key. We tried to bounce back to 648 before retracing all the way to 630. So I don't know if this trade's going to happen again. I would love to get this, my part out right here. I don't know if it goes this low, but 642 is a spot where if we do break 650 that I'm looking at. So that's why I think it's worth the risk. Look, I could take out $4 right now on this trade and take that out at VWAP, but we're going to give that a little bit of room. We'll lose about $1 or $2 on the high side. But again, I have 645-ish in my sights if it does happen. But here we go, going the other way on Tesla. And if I lose on it, I lose on it. But able to make a little bit of money back off that short. So that was pretty good. Yeah,
definitely. You got to stick to your guns sometimes with your reads and go with the stocks that you know you feel confident with. And I'm going to go back to Peloton. Look, as much as it's fallen off here, breakout through the high, that wins. Dip buy at 140, that wins. I do end up losing on the last little reload in the piece that I was holding from that 141. But it holds kind of the pre-market bottom, fail breakout through 139, break down, through that 139. And now we're holding the 140 again. So if it can make any kind of sideways action off of 140, I would try to jump back in. Very similar trade to what we had before. That didn't work. But it held the pre-market low, which is a good sign. So I'll try it one more time if we get any kind of a pullback into 140. Going long Peloton once again. Brendan, what's up?
I mentioned this one earlier, guys. Smile Direct Club coming up to these significant levels on the daily chart. So went out to the daily time frame here. 13.5 was that last little pivot there the last time we were up here, going back a month or two ago. Remember, somewhat of a stay-at-home play, benefiting today. Yeah, 10% now for Smile Direct Club. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Smile Direct. Do we have, did we have something for that? No, we didn't, but we do have something for Chewy, which just keeps going up to the high side there. That's another name that I will not be getting out of as Chewy just continues to rock and roll everybody's world up to 105 right now. Chewy just does not stop, man. 105, 106, just keeps going another 5% today. Wowzers. Shout out to Daniel Shea, who's been with this stock with me as well from the beginning. Again, stay at home play. You talked about Smile Direct. Chewy, I mean, if you love your pets, apparently this was bought out by PetSmart, I believe it was, and then took public. So Chewy right to the upside. And yeah, still motoring now, 106 and change. I don't know where the pullback's going to happen. This thing just, as soon as we broke this 90 level, I mean, we haven't even looked at it back. Even this 75 off earnings, straight to the upside on Chewy. Wowzers. Okay, we're into JP Morgan. Again, we broke VWAP, and I'm just going to use VWAP as an out. I didn't want to take this long through VWAP. I wanted to wait for a 123 break. It does go into the money for us, about 15 cents, but I'm only going to give it right back to here. Again, this was looking like a good drop. Remember we talked about that? Up to VWAP and then breaking back lower through 122. So I'm not going to give it that opportunity. We're going to get out right now if it breaks back above 120 or back below 122.80 for a 20-cent hit. We're going to try to give this one some room to the upside, but JP Morgan right now doesn't really float my boat. I'm actually going to go 122.60 now that I see that. We're going to give this one a little bit of love back, but 122.60 on JP Morgan. Let's see.
Yeah, and someone asked in the chat, and I didn't get to it. I did notice someone saying, "What's a target on AIM?" Just go to Friday's top here, 207. It also closed at 191, so I'm looking at that $2 range as a final out. I don't really have much left because it did dip down to 214. I got some out there. I got some out at 215, so I really don't have much on. If it breaks 225, it's not a horrible idea to maybe take some out if you're still holding a good position or a good amount of a short in front of that 250, because that's a nice little 10% return. But I've taken most of it out anyway, so I don't need to do that. $2, and then of course that 191 would be sort of a pipe dream level. I just got into XPeng there. So 47.63 is the entry price. It did just make another test at the high. 47.70 is the top, but I mean, I'll give it to that 3/4 mark, so 75. Even if it breaks that, I'll probably have another look at 48 even. And if it breaks through that, probably then 50. But either way, first look at a rollover. I wouldn't add to it until it tests 75, maybe comes back down. So took some on the way up. I'd only add on the way downside. So let's see if it can hold through. I want to see a bid jump up above it. Right now, the spread is 73 to 76. So I don't want to get wicked out, especially given that 48 is right here.
So I haven't made as many trades as normally today, just 137 fills. So it's not a whole hell of a lot for me today. Part of the reason is that we've missed NIO. JP Morgan came out. Look, I've been trying to go long on JP Morgan. It just hasn't worked out. So that's a mistake. But look at NEO, man. I mean, unless you want to buy highs right now, I don't like to average in. I mean, the market's coming down, and I'm pretty negative on the market, as you guys know. So this move's coming down. My dentist calling again. I know, I have an appointment tomorrow. I already know that for the dentist, so we'll see why they're bothering me. But NEO to the downside right now, no, that's not happening. Tesla to the downside, maybe. But one thing I did want to look at here was Apple. A lot of you trading Apple today. Apple down that 2.5% and still moving. So again, you know, the best name here that I believe anybody can own. Watch out though, the NASDAQ keeps going down. ES keeps coming down, so will Apple. So, I mean, we're well off VWAP here. I'd like to see this get back into the 124 area, but I mean, shorting Apple now, I don't think you could be wrong. There, I mean, there goes NEO again. I mean, just destroys 48, guys. Congratulations to anybody on this one. I don't know. I could put Brendan to work, but I don't know if there was any news today on NEO specifically, or if it's just some of these Chinese names going crazy right now. But that's off to the races right now, NEO. We did reverse into a long on CCL, breaking back above 50. I don't know if we like that or not. We'll check out that again, but that was off of a stop order. So we'll check out CCL going long side right now. But Brendan, sector watch, there he is. Looks awfully red there, Mr. Wickens.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at the S&P 500. I haven't seen anything, all things electric vehicle related as far as headlines, so we'll keep my eye out. Very excited because for the first time during this segment, we can have a look at, there it is, Tesla, guys, in the consumer durables group under the consumer discretionary sector of the S&P 500. So there's Tesla, 4.7%. To the downside. So among the leaders in that group so far on the weak side. Offsetting that, though, at the top of the group is Nike. Back to the upside, 4.5%. So positive earnings for Nike. Here's all the travel names we've been talking about. CCL, NCLH, all the hotels are here. Starbucks even here, 3% to the downside for Starbucks. So consumer discretionary stocks, definitely one to watch. We'll go up here to the airlines, the travel names continuing in the industrial sector. AAL, UAL, Alaska, Dow, Love, they're all here. 3+% to the downside for the airlines. Industrials, the entire sector in negative territory so far, also among the leaders. I'll flip over to this side, talk about tech stocks, also leading to the downside. FIS, WUMA, take your pick in the software group outside of GPN. That's the only one that is positive. Hardware makers are all negative. Same story on the semiconductor side of things, led by AMD, 4%. XLNX, 4% to the downside. Healthcare stocks as well. The entire sector you can see in negative territory. There's one that's dead flat. Everything else is red. Over in the corner here, energy stocks. I mentioned that FANG, F-A-N-G. There's a merger involving them, but that group is all red. Pretty negative. Materials, real estate stocks, communication services. Overall, 1.7% now for the S&P. Back over to Neil.
Thank you very much, Brennan. If we come away from Brennan into a winner, yeehaw! Let's ride X-Peng to the downside. I talked about this. I take one shot in front on the way up. It rolls over shy of 48 even. We talked about waiting for that. Got back in on the way downside here. I just scalped them out in front of 47.25 for a 40-cent win. If this comes to VWAP, I'll be more than happy, but next leg's going to be around 47 and then probably 46.60 where you did have this secondary breakout. That is the opening range top, if you want to call it that. That's about 9:45 in the morning. So finally got that one to work, but CCL just came all the way back for me. I was short at 48, and having missed out on it, I was not very aggressive. Well, I tried to be aggressive adding here when it broke VWAP. I didn't get it. It came right back. Is now testing 2050 where we got in, and it just broke. So, I got super greedy with this, thinking, okay, I want to hold this through a 2020 break. Came right back to my price and ended up losing like 3 or 4 cents. So try to hit the home run and swing and miss on that one. However, I'm going to give a little bit of a power up over here to AIM. I feel like we haven't done that enough. It tried to test that 225 mark. It holds and is headed right back southbound, guys. So I still maintain that $2 target. FireEye, you got to be kidding me, FireEye. A second ago, this felt like I was finally able to get out here at VWAP, at least some of it at VWAP at 1980. I'm thinking, okay, here's the breakdown. It's finally going to go for me, and it's right back to 20. So the battle was 1990 to 20 even. Now it's 1980 to 20 even. Same thing. Someone is buying all of these dips. It's not me. I'm holding the short, and I'm looking to see if it can't finally go down towards 1950 or so to get a couple legs out. I plan on hoping to hold this all the way down to 19 even for the final third of this position. I have taken some out scalping down here at 1993 and 1980, but that was on my 2035 short. I'm now short on my 20 entry. So let's see what happens on FireEye. Still holding the bag on this one.
We're also looking to hold the bag now. We're just in a new stock right now, Palantir. My number one stock of the day, and here we go. Can we get some love here for Palantir? Let's see if we get some 04s. There it is. Yeah, nice little long from 90 there. Breaking back above. We just said enough is enough. We're using the 75 as an out, so now we go to the upside here. Actually, we were using 80, no, not 75. We're using 80, 85 as an out. So take some off now. Nice little 15-cent win here to scalp through on Palantir, and I think we should maybe even take some more there. It didn't break through O's like we thought it would, so we'll take out some more O1s there if we could get it. Come on, spike up and take me out. We have direct market access, so if you did, well, we got some O1s, they're good. So if you do see us scalping in and out, we don't pay fees on our trades, right? And if they are, they're minimal. It just depends on the gateway fee. So whatever gateway you're using, you may pay $2 per 1,000 shares, $3 per 1,000 shares. Some go the other way where they'll pay you to add liquidity, and even some pay you to remove liquidity. So check us out. We have some market wisdom pages there. Valeria, you can please put our market wisdom anyways in there. We will be doing some more videos for you shortly, including we have a scalping video out there, which is what I'm doing right now on Palantir. My next in is going to be upside now. I still have an order to go long through 25. So now that Palantir seems like it wants to go, we can look at it from a 3-minute chart here. We are nicely long now. This is a big trade for me. We love Palantir, 16 cents now in the money. Here's the break coming 2025. The VWAP's at 16. I'm actually waiting until we get this break, which is right here, 25. I like that better, but right now, a nice little 15-cent win for Palantir. We don't have any Palantir logos, so we'll just do a little floss off because my number one stock just keeps climbing up and away here. Now 17 cents in the money, $4 in the money also on Tesla, guys.
Yeah, buddy, go get that Tesla. You were in those pink shorts today, Sean. I will not be getting mine from Mr. Musk. I just want to quickly go over. Have we mentioned a Bitcoin at all today? I don't know that we have.
I was trading it early, but I really haven't.
Yeah, because I just noticed Mara up here, the 12% move and breaking towards the top, a 1050 break. I mean, it already happened, and sort of it's testing it again. So I don't want to chase this too far, but I'm off the idea that at some point I was anticipating a pullback to that 20, at least 21, maybe not even 20. I'm going to like the idea of maybe a pullback on Mara as well if I can catch it. I can tell you that, and I got to find it. I don't want to hit the puke, but I'm going to hit the puke. So open door. And you know what? This is one of those things where, yeah, I'm going to save myself some money by getting out here and not getting too stubborn with this, but it was giving me all kinds of indications. And I sort of said this when it dipped down and gave that failed break below 28. that was a great opportunity for the long because it failed breakdown and then just got bought right back. It did the same thing the other way at 29. I could have just taken that lesson and gotten everything out immediately for like a 60 to 70 cent win. I don't do that. I hold on. And then, of course, now I'm going to lose on the rest of the trade. You're going to see open door go down. So it is what it is. I certainly saw that happen, and I could have taken more shares off. I did not do so. But you got to learn from your mistakes there. It was a good call. It was a good area, but certainly should have been more aggressive taking profit on open door. That's what happens to you sometimes. I can tell you that over here on XPeng, bounces off of 47 even. So I did scalp some out here at 47.25. If it breaks that low, my next bid is below that 47. Then, of course, I want some out in front of VWAP for that retracement play. I'm not adding to it. I did double dip here at the top, so no need to do that. But 47 has held. It is still in an upward trend, obviously. So got to take profit as it does come down instead of just holding the entire boat down here for VWAP, guys.
Okay, so someone just said Valdo there. Good job. Palantir goes boom. Hell yeah, it goes boom. It goes boom big time. So we'll get some out here, 23, 24s. To end our trade, we only have 10% left. As you guys can see, bang, 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 bang. Scalped it all the way up through VWAP. That makes sense to us. That's what we do. And there's our last out right there. Floss it off, and now we get ready to go long here on Palantir. A nice little 40-cent win there. No, what was our highest in there? 30 cents on Palantir. Sorry, we're long at 90, out at 20, 23 there. So now here it goes. We're going to take Palantir long again. Here we go, Brendan, breaking through 26. Give it to us again.
Another two to have a look at, guys. I mentioned one of these already, but Editas, which is EDIT, a therapeutics company. They have a gene therapy that they released positive data over the weekend on that came out better than expected. So this thing has gone from $62 today to $90 in a straight line. And I mentioned this one earlier, CRSP, all-time highs today. This one in the same group as that EDIT, guys.
Okay, so Palantir, we did take some more 25s, but it's going boom to the downside as soon as we take that. So we just took some off here, guys. Please don't panic and think that we're selling this one like crazy. We did take some off as it goes down. We got some out 22s and 23s there because, again, we just took a nice little win there. I don't want this to be the absolute high. We did run this. This is a 3-minute chart. Look at the move on a 1-minute chart. So we may be a little bit overextended there, a little bit on a 1-minute chart as we go right past the VWAP. So when it doesn't break 30 there on our 25 break, we did get some out. We did realize that there was a 38 top there, but here we come right back to the downside. So you got to watch out. Like, this could retrace easily back here, which is where we'll get out. But here it comes back to the downside. So we are giving up some of the profit that we just made on Palantir, but not a lot of it, but just some of it. Watch out to the downside. And there goes Tesla, guys. Finally, thank you. Let's just keep going, man. Just waiting for this 558 to break, or sorry, a 548 to break. We're waiting for 52. Can't break 48 unless it breaks 50. So let's see if Tesla can come down. A nice little $6 win here for TSLA.
Yeah, get going, Tesla. And, XPeng can't get to VWAP if it doesn't break 47, so similar action here. Just looking for it to break this level. It's not that there's a ton of size, but there is a bit of buying going on here every time it ticks down. There's actually some size offers that have been trailing it a little bit, but you do have a bit of a bid that's popped in at 47 and then holding it up at 05, 06 every now and then. So I do also have to watch FireEye, and I keep saying this one. For those of you bullish on the stock, this is just doing a fantastic job. Well, I mean, fantastic if you're long. It's not fantastic if you're short. A fantastic job of holding VWAP here. Just one little tick down, and then I got some out on it. It just feels a little bit more bullish. I'm actually going to move believe it or not, I'm going to move my stop down to like 2015 from 2025, just because, like I said, it's entirely too strong for me. It'll be a winning trade overall, but I just can't. I don't want to fight this. And you can see it already moving to the upside. It's a couple of pennies from stopping me out here and just saying, wait for a test of 21 even. This bounce off VWAP has been relentless, is the word I want to use here. And for whatever reason, the buyers are in on FireEye. It was a successful short, but I'm going to take it off here, guys, and then wait for a test of 21. I'm not done with this. Maybe even if it breaks 1980 or 1975, I would get in that way. But got to preach some patience with the short. FireEye buyers winning for now. It's not over. But it is time to go to Brendan at the big screen. Money Talks.
Hey guys, yeah, currency time. It's a busy one, to say the least, in currency markets today as well. We're seeing some overall U.S. dollar weakness creep back in once that stimulus bill did get passed. But I want to talk about the British pound here, the mutated strain of COVID coming out of the U.K., putting a lot of pressure this morning on the British pound. So 1.6% to the downside, back to 133. If you remember, at the end of last week, we got above 136 on Brexit talks. Now we're all the way back down to bottom end of the range here, 132 for the British pound. That's an hourly chart, so huge range for the British pound here. Again, 1.6%. You can see Canadian dollar 0.7% to the downside, back below that 78-cent U.S. level, 122. Meanwhile, for the euro, down 0.4% as well. Australia and New Zealand also in negative territory. We have Bitcoin. Don't sleep on Bitcoin, guys. 23,000 starting to hold as support. Big move down, but we're starting to creep back to the upside. You can see positive territory here versus Ethereum, still down 5.5%, back to 615 for Ethereum, guys. Bitcoin, though, starting to make a move back to the upside, guys.
Yeah, you're just looking at, was talking about Mara just there, but obviously Bitcoin making some moves. I want to answer a question that I saw. It was Yuri there, one of our members. Why not reverse your position if you think FireEye is strong? And as you mentioned that, I actually just took the break at 2025, so I probably should have said this earlier that I was certainly considering the look. And yes, I could have gone long off VWAP, and that would make a heck of a lot of sense. I get that, but I wanted it to break out of that range. In 2025, where I originally had my stop, I like that break just to sort of continue that move, but I'm scalping this. I'm not holding longs in FireEye. My initial read is that I want it short. I still want the short in front of 21. I'm still going to try the rollover if it gets to the top. But again, like I said, it felt a little bit strong there, so I don't want to fight the trend too much. If I can scalp out some 5, 10, 15, 25-cent wins on the way up, I'll be happy to do so. But you're right, I should have mentioned to you guys that I would use my 2025 original stops as an entry to go into the long trade. But I wasn't long off the bottom. I was still hoping for a breakdown at 1980, which just never happened, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we can't. It's tough, man. This is a tough market right now. Okay, $7 now in the money on Tesla. So we're waiting for that one to go. And we're hoping that it does. So we're waiting for that. The other one here is Palantir not going. So Palantir, we did take some off there, off of our initial break. You can see in here somewhere, anyways, that we did take this 25 break there and then managed to get some out on the same candle and then some out again at 19 there. So yeah, this name not really working out for us. But if the market does come back up, then obviously we should be able to get a nice little victory here. If not anything, I'll drop a little bit more here at VWAP to not let our winners turn into losers. We talk about that all the time. And even on that note, guys, I'm debating here, and I don't want to get out of Tesla, but like how many times? Like our last out down here, 657, and now it's coming right down to that 657 level again. So, I mean, if the market keeps on bouncing, then I guess Tesla will just keep on bouncing off the 657 level. But right now, I do like that to the downside here. Working Tesla down. Hopefully that keeps on coming. CCL, upside, okay, getting to 60. We are long through a 50 break here. But again, not much happening right now. Remember something. I just ran into Greg over there, and he's like, dude, it's a holiday market. We have to remember that. We may not get too much movement. Look at the NASDAQ right now. We did have some nice movements off the open, obviously, with a nice little move upside. And then what we thought would happen the whole day would basically be a negative Nancy day. So now you're all the way back down to 12,460. But look, here we go, trying to rebound. So again, watch out for the volume. I think we don't get excited until we at least break 12,530 here on the NASDAQ, guys. So right now, kind of just holding our positions, trying to read charts to get our trades.
I love the negative Nancy look. It's funny that you mentioned that because my daughter is obsessed with Fancy Nancy, which is on Netflix. And believe me, there's a segue in here. It's on Disney. And I've been not watching a lot of Netflix recently because of Disney. And thought maybe there would be a bit of a buy opportunity in Netflix today. You talk about the stay-at-home plays. Netflix is down, so down a couple of percent here. If we really think that we're gonna have another bit of a double dip, I mean, come on. If Netflix comes into 500, how are we not going to be looking at picking this one up? I'm surprised by the weakness today. I thought maybe there'd be a little bit of a bid on this name. There hasn't been so far. It's trying to put one in at the bottom here, but I'm going to hold off and wait for another push to the downside on Netflix. Thought there'd be some strength, but maybe like me. everyone's so excited about how absurdly good The Mandalorian was and Disney kicking everybody's butt. I lost my mind watching it. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it. But even if you're not a fan, wow, you got to check that out. I'm not saying that just because I love Disney.
Yeah, no, I tweeted that out Friday night when we watched it, letting people know that, yeah, that was great. A great time there. Dan, I didn't see your trade, but you want, what did you want again? You wanted the hot dogs? Okay, we'll throw out the hot dogs for you, Dan. You've been a big supporter there. He says, throw out, there it is, so it says up here, throw out the hot dogs for my SND. Here it is, Dan, there you go. Can I get a hot dog for my SNDL banger? This is one normally that I know Neil's on. Okay, SNDL. What? Here comes Palantir back, so that's good. Sundial, we'll check this out. The cannabis space, a little bit rough riding today. Charts. I don't know what version I'm in, but they're just not working out today. Very good. Yeah, wow, Dan. A good little trade, especially if you're long here, somewhere like 48. This is the kind of names that we like to trade off these little breakouts right now. Sundial, congratulations to that one, Dan. I assume that's what you're on. Let's wait to ACB here. Is that also picking up? No, it's not. No ACB love. Let's check out some CGC. And what we're doing right now is we're finding out, I'm going to hit it because this is one of my favorite things of all time. Weed Batman. Where is it? There it is. We also have a Valeria Batman that I'll hit in a minute. But it looks like it's only SNDL, so wondering if that's news specific right there, my friend. SNDL still going upside. None of the other names really moving. I mean, Afria is the name where I'd put my money, but remember now, Afria squashed because of the Tilray deal.
Yeah, and of course, it was having a good day here, and now I have to be shown Sundial running. I actually didn't notice this one running to the upside because it wasn't on my radar the last little bit. But if it goes parabolic, not only does Sean have to stay hydrated, which he should anyways, but I gotta start thinking about where I like this one to fade. Look, it's just been one of those trades where as long as you pick your spots, for me at least, I've been only going in, well, that's not true because I did have some successful long trades on this way back when it was going to the upside and catching some bounces and breakouts earlier on in the month. But I'm watching this 55 level. After that, it's going to be 60. I'm going to take the turn on Sundial because I always short this stock whenever it moves up. 55 right now looks a little like this. So why not take a crack as we speak?
Guys, if you remember last week, we were talking about some debt restructuring or plans for debt restructuring Sundial was getting into. So you can see this morning, they've now completed that restructuring of their debt, including a prepayment of a remaining $21.9 million to their credit facility, which means, yeah, they're debt free. They have no debt right now for Sundial growers, guys.
Wahoo, Sundial. Grow Generation Brands, this is the name that I'm on. GRWG, not GRGW. GRWG here. You guys know that we're long this one. I saw someone put in the chat there. We're long in the teens on this name as this goes up another 4% today. GRWG cannot be stopped. The Home Depot of marijuana. We called this one a hell of a long time ago. GRWG off right here. Some Kamala Harris talk. We keep talking about that one. Bouncing off there. This was during the debates and whatnot. So a nice little move to the upside right there for GRWG. So Grow Generation Brands, another one going. We've dumped some of our Palantir, guys. It doesn't look like charts. It doesn't look like it wants to go, but we are going to give this one a little bit back to about 26 or change there. It does go 26.95. Actually, we'll give it all the way back to 25.95 and then see what happens right now. But Palantir may be good for a little long. $7 now in the money on Tesla.
Yeah, baby Tesla. Look, 0 for 1 on Sundial. This isn't over. I know the way, and the way is, look, no, it's not to say that I'm going to fight this the entire way upside, but I like the roll at 55 if it could go there. It had a bit of a fail break, which I liked, but it is still churning through levels here. Well, quickly, if I can jump over to that chart. I was just looking over at FireEye, which is pulling back to that VWAP as well, but you can't fight it too hard. It's still going parabolic. I tried it once. Now it's getting another parabolic move upside. I talked about that 60 level as being next. I'll take a crack there. Past that, you're really starting to look at the 80s, which is a little crazy. So watch out. If 60 goes, this could get rather spicy. It's already spicy. And we got to go to Valeria because it's time for a European update.
Hey guys, European markets are very negative due to the new strain of coronavirus and travel ban from many countries. Britain is down 1.9%. Germany is down 3.09%. France is down 2.87%. and Italy is down 3.04%. Travel stocks are suffering with IG, Lufthansa, and TUI down between 2 and 8%. Back to the traders.
Yeah, we know about Europe there. Sad day over there. Lots of markets to the downside, and we actually thought that our markets may be down that 2 or 3% as well, but no, refusing that. Nice little long there, 07, out 14s, out on a VWAP break of 18 again, so that's where you're going to see my Palantir price changing as we speak, and there we go, another out. So we took the long there, defending these bottoms. We gave you 25.90 as our out, so let's see if we can hold on to the rest of those. Okay, Tesla, I'm not, again, you know, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to hopefully this comes down, but I am very aware of the 661 level. So if we break back above 661, we'll get out of Tesla and capture our $4 on that one. But that's basically the name of the game right there on Tesla. Look at Nike, man. It defended that 143, but it goes down to 143.50. We got out at 88. Now it goes right back to that VWAP. Look at Nike. This is why I wanted to bring this up a couple times. We only broke VWAP once. Forget about VWAP right here. That's off the open, big, heavy trading. But since then, we break it once, and then it refuses it. Then it refuses it again, and now it's refusing VWAP one more time. So Nike, although off of a great quarter, 5.5%, it looks like it having a hard time getting going. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go short every time here, but just watch out if you are long. Like, pair some off and just watch out for volume-weighted average price as it continues to go. And here we go. Palantir's in the money. And then our CCL. Like, this stock's putting me to sleep, man. We're long here at 52. It's at 57, 58. We'll get some out if it goes 59, 60, and then watch out for the upside 75, 76. But right now, CCL not doing a whole hell of a lot. Palantir going up. We got a $7 winner again on Tesla, and this is exactly the spot that it keeps on dropping off to and then bouncing. So part of me, like my trader instinct in me, Neil, as you know, whenever we see like bottoms like this, we generally get out, but I want to leave a bias here for Tesla, as I still think we can test 650. I don't know. It's worth it for me.
There's a part of me that thinks you might have one for the rest of the day. And look, anytime you get a read where it's like Tesla sell off, I mean, we've seen that before with well, nothing like Tesla, of course, with upweights or additions that are that big. But I mean, it shook so many people out that the more shorts that are shaken out of what looks like a fantastic entry, the better it should be in the long term. I'm disappointed in some of you guys there asking, did I take the 60 turn on Sundial? I mean, come on. Of course I took the 60 turn on Sundial. I just told you I'd have to have it. It's Sundial, for crying out loud. So I did get 59 short on the way back in. I already scalped a bunch out in front of 56, but that's only a quarter of it. Let's see if it can't retest through 55. At some point, this should come all the way. But if it holds that last 55 break, you're probably still looking at a push through 60, and I don't know what there is past 60 until we get to that 75-80 mark, so I will not be holding past that level. So far, so good on Sundial. Brendan?
Chinese name here, WBAI, which is 500.com. Little Chinese online gaming and casino company popping up this morning. They had a rather large private placement that was announced, just broke $6, but right back below. So huge volume behind this move, 115% for WBAI.
WBAI.
Hey, Golf Scratch, you might be right. It might be going through that 60 mark, but it is what it is. Like, sort of taking my shot here. Because I've taken a quarter out and gotten that little win, this trade actually won't, unless I miss 60 breaking and can't get out manually here, it's going to be a winning trade. At least that's going to be the case. Of course, knock on wood, I still have to execute if it breaks the top. I just want to quickly go to the higher time frame here. Like I said, if it breaks through this like 60 to 62 range, I mean, it feels like it might chew it up to like 75, 80, where the rest of the chop would be to the upside. So you got to be treading carefully if you are short this. The volume is still going nicely, but it is trying to roll over in this range. If it takes out 55, I definitely want to continue to hold some on board, guys.
We're getting close to the end of the show, 11:30. We're going to, wow, that WBAI. We'll have a look at that. Let's look at that right now. But right now, Palantir, though, look, we just keep dumping some. We're pretty light on this now. I'm going to hold the rest in case it does go. But other than that, we'll just give it back to the downside. I mean, I don't want to be pairing this off, but I don't have a choice. It's not moving the way we thought. And then, obviously, what Greg mentioned to me still stuck in my head here, that it's holiday trade. So I don't know why I'm expecting to have huge moves. It may be best to trade some of these little micro caps. WBAI here today again, moving 500.com limited. So we're going to watch this one. $6, 640, 650. It's already done 30 million. Looking to break that out. If we look at a daily chart on this one, already upside. We've been here before though, and that was right here, 735. A good little spot if we could break that. Let's call it 7.25. Where else? WBAI. I don't really see much. You could do this pullback to VWAP, which is happening right now. But when stocks are going and moving like this, in my opinion, guys, it's way better. Yes, Tesla. It's way better to take this on the break. And right now, it's kind of just hovering around that VWAP. The reason why we do that stupid laugh is Tesla right now finally breaks down below. So I'm going to put right now the evil laugh face on because, yeah, Tesla right here trying to make downside moves. So we'll watch it out. We have a $10 winner right now on this name. So we're letting Tesla work to the downside. That's a good trade. By far my worst trade today was Zoom. We put on a little bit too much risk. We thought it could break there. It doesn't. And then we get out and now look where Zoom is, man. 407. What's our boy Peloton doing as well? Okay, Peloton's holding up a little bit better than we thought. Again, I guess maybe this COVID, I like to think that the market knows a little bit more than us. Maybe this COVID strain isn't as bad as people thought. I mean, I hate to say that for the humanity. I hope it's really not. But the market right now kind of making moves backside and Peloton and Zoom down. Look at Tesla, guys. This is exactly what dreams are made of. It's doing exactly what we thought. Breaking low, breaking this level. Now we'll wait for 650. Next call 642. If we can get that, then yeah, I'm going to be buying a lottery ticket because that was a good call here on Tesla. We're bringing it back to the downside. $9 now in the money.
That's what I'm talking about, Sean. But shout out to Dan McIsaac. The offer stands. Thank you for bringing up Sundial. Yeah, we're chilling on this one. It is headed all the way back to VWAP. We got the top at 59, 59 in front of 60. I took two shots at this, but I told you both the levels I was going to work off of. First doesn't work. You've got to be prepared to jump back in if you like something. But a fantastic look there. For some reason, not actually on my radar. I always update my quote board, so I have multiple quote boards. And I have a bigger list, which still had Sundial on it, but my hot list for the day, SNDL had come off that just last week. So it had stopped moving around a little bit, and today it makes a move up, and that's why we're going to fade it. I'll just short the pops in this every chance I get. Continuing to go down, and at some point, Open Door is going to, you know what, I just went to look back at a historical chart, of course, for in our system. Got to check out IPOB if you want to go to historical prices. But Open Door bounced off at 26 here. Obviously, it was a good out. I will go ahead and say to cover this one when it broke 28. But at some point, it's going to find a bottom. I'm going to like it. I might wait till later on in the week just in case it sells off. We've seen this happen before. The deal finally goes through. You trade on the new symbol with the SPAC, and then the helium comes out of the name, and you got to wait for some consolidation to start liking some prices, and that's probably the case here. And we'll be patient when it comes to that. One more for you, and I will call this one. Here you go, falling off the earth. Ooh, yeah, found that little bottom. Well, we haven't found a bottom in XPeng, but we have broken VWAP here. I'll be out in front of 46. It doesn't have to tick too much further. You know what? What am I even doing? I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. Let's just, you know what? I'm not even going to jump on. Look, I was about to jump on the bid, and then I'm saying to myself, for what ends up being a $1.40 winner, why am I going to sit on the bid? I should just punch out of the trade. It broke VWAP. I wanted out in front of 46 even. It made a bit of a turn. 25 pennies or so shy of it, but this short working out rather nicely. Now, when Sean brought up NEO, and this is the thing, like, I saw that move to the upside. It's a great, fantastic look, but I said to myself, I'd rather short XPeng if it's made the same move. That's exactly what it had done. Much like Sundial, I had to take two shots at it. 48 was the level, but the top had been 70, so similar to Sundial. I jumped right back in after losing and catch a nice little winner. Does it go further? Maybe. I don't care. Drop the fireworks. This one came in rather nicely.
Yeah, and then we just hit Palantir as well rather nicely off that 90 bottom. So a couple nice bottom picks. Like, we're making back. We lost. So we lost on this. Obviously, we bought some here on that 25 break. Not as big as these positions as we look to defend these bottoms. Like I said, we're switching a little bit, man. Breakouts just aren't here right now. I think there's going to be a lot of light trading. You got to pick your spots and pick the right stock. So here we go again. A bigger position, 97, sorry. Out now, 07s, 08s. We're just scalping Palantir, man. We have the scalping video out. Join us and watch that on our Market Wisdom page. Tesla also, guys, coming even trying to break even lower right now. I've switched my out 659.50 or so. If it comes back to down here, we will make sure that we capture $6 win. But if it just breaks the bottom, I think we're good to go. Brendan, what's up?
Some of these LiDAR companies just popping up here on some volume, guys. Laser, first of all, Luminar just made a day high there above that 32. Coming right back in, but decent move so far. 15% at one point for LAZR. I'll show you this one as well. Microvision, 9%. Same story, just broke that last little pivot. Day high for MVIS as well, guys.
Wow, what a runner. That laser stock is just completely insane. What is not insane, I'm just going to quickly come back to it just because it's almost all done over here in AIM. Look, it's down towards that $2 mark. Close was 191, so if it breaks, I'll have literally next to nothing on if it breaks to even, but we did have a target for that previous close at 191. So the second last bid is going to be here in front of 2. If it breaks to even, great. We'll see if we can't get like that momentum. Might be some stop orders at 2 even, likely there are. I'll use that momentum to get out in the 90s. 91 was the previous close, so call like 95, 96 would be the last and final target on this one. For whatever reason, Sundial is holding up at 53. I mean, I don't know. I got nothing for you why it's going to do that, but this is the second time it's come down here. On the way up, there was not really any kind of a significant level, so it doesn't really stand out to me, but it is consolidating 53 to 55. I have 40% of the position still on, which might be a little bit heavy. So in this range, I'll probably get down to about a quarter left and then maybe cancel one of these bids in here, see if it can't get all the way down to 52. So I'll cover just a bit more between 53 and 55. Given I wasn't expecting to see any kind of floor at 53 here. Thought it'd be more like 51, 52.
Yeah, people saying NEO flying right now, and yeah, it looks like it may be just doing that. Okay, so Palantir, we're going to get some out right there. We just talked about that. Let's go over to NEO as well. Yeah, flying, not really flying from its highs, flying down, but now it looks like it does want to do that. Comes right to VWAP 46.90. We could break that. The market's holding up, so not much happening there. We do have Tesla, so we already short the EV space. However, I don't consider the Tesla short a short in the space. That's just a short in the name right now, as it was way overextended the last little bit. Okay, I mean, here's NEO. I was just looking at this level, and we can look at it at a longer time frame here. Let's just look at a 3-minute chart. I am looking to get long here. It's just super strong today. 47.50, generally a break that I like. You can see you go back to last Friday, and you have the high before we went parabolic, sort of in some of the names anyways with the rebalancing. Not NEO, doesn't seem to be affected by that rebalancing at all. This one is another name that may go into some sort of a index at some point. I don't know how that works for Chinese names. A 47.50 though, if NEO can get back going, let's take that break. A 47.50 break back on NEO. We do like that one going to the high side, but it is coming back down. And there goes Tesla, nice little win. Here goes Palantir, nice little win to the long side. So right here, CCL long and really bothering me. It's not doing anything. So this is a pretty light position. Palantir, we still have a little bit of our position on, about half of this, breaking near VWAP and not doing anything. And then, oh wow, it's guess the day already. 11, we do have Tesla, still $10 in the money. I'll give it to you. My out right around here, guys, 660, 659 or so. Let's see if Tesla breaks the bottom though. Wow, this day went quickly. Brendan, this is a very important guest. Let's see what's happening with our guest of the day.
Hey guys, yeah, very excited. We teed it up a couple of times this morning to have Scott Bradley, Head of Sales and Global Business Development for the LSE and Turquoise over in London, joining us once again. It's been quite the year for obvious reasons, but we're going to talk a little bit about some record activity, some record trading volumes on the LSE and through their Turquoise gateway as well. We'll discuss what his thoughts are on what is to come for 2021 also. So it should be great information if you're looking at the European markets, if you're looking at the UK markets as well, especially in this troubling time that we do have on our hands at the moment with the second wave of coronavirus. Yeah, we can bring in Scott anytime here, guys, and we'll kick things off and discuss the LSE. Good to see you, Scott. Hope you're safe, first of all. It's a scary time, obviously, with this second wave of the coronavirus and also a second strain popping up in the UK. Hope you and yours are all doing well.
Thank you, Brendan, and good morning. It's nice to see you. Yeah, as you can see, it's still work from home here, no change there. And the country, many parts of the country have gone into a further lockdown with heightened restrictions. So it's looking like it's going to be a little time before we're back in the office, but all well here. Thank you very much for asking.
Yeah, let's jump into how things have fared for the LSE and Turquoise as well as far as trading activity for 2020. A lot of people sitting at home because of the coronavirus and lockdowns, as we've said, and that has resulted in record trading activities.
Yeah, well, as we said earlier in the year, so 2020 has been an extraordinary year for a number of reasons, clearly. Let's just kick off a couple of quick recaps. So back in March, when we moved to that work from home environment, we actually saw record activity, record volumes on the London Stock Exchange in March. We saw 44.8 million trades recorded on the exchange, which was something like a 74% increase in the number of trades recorded in a month. And the second highest to the previous record was back in June 2016, ironically, which was the month of the EU referendum. So we saw those record activities. We saw a surge in block trading activity that I talked about in the past. All during a period when people were working remotely. So resiliency and operating in those remote locations became a key feature for us as exchange operators and infrastructure providers. And the markets worked well. The markets maintained those robust, orderly structures that we need and we were pleased to be able to provide in the marketplace. And resiliency has continued to play a significant part in 2020 as we've looked to make sure that we can continue to provide those robust markets as we move towards Brexit in January 2021.
Yeah, I want to get
now,
your
we talked to.
Yeah, I want to get your
Brendan.
thoughts on Brexit here in a second, Scott. But when it comes to the trading activity specifically, has there been maybe one or two areas of the market that have seen increased volume, increased trading activities outside of the norm?
To be honest with you, we haven't seen a huge shift in trends in the way the landscape is fragmented. And as you know, the European landscape is a very fragmented landscape across multiple types of venues across multiple countries. But what we did see in 2020 was a real shift towards block trading, dark block trading in particular. So 4 years ago, for example, on Turquoise, block trading activity in the dark accounted for about 5% of our dark business. In 2020, it genuinely became mainstream with 57% of dark business on Turquoise taking place in our block trading service, Turquoise Plato Block Discovery. So blocks became mainstream. We saw a continued strength in lit activity on the primary markets. But to be honest, the shift between alternative venues hasn't really changed over the year. Now, we did see in November, we did see a significant uptick in volumes, in part because of the positive news around vaccines and the MSCI rebalance. So activity across European markets in November was about 82 billion euros average daily value traded. About 56 billion of that is on venue. But we still see only about, I say only, it's still significant, but about 2 billion euros of activities coming from those electronic liquidity provider prop firms trading as SIs. And we see just shy of 2 billion euros of activity on a daily basis coming from the periodic auctions. So really that shift and that dynamic that we have between lit, dark and alternative venues has remained relatively constant with a slight shift towards block trading when people do trade in the dark venues away from dark continuous. But as I said a year ago, and I think it was maybe on here 12 months ago, I did say 2020 would continue to be the year of the central risk book. And I think that's been proven to some degree, because if you look at that alternative liquidity landscape, as I said, about 2 billion euros of activity coming from the prop ELPs, we actually see about 5 times that activity in the systematic internalizer space coming from the banks and brokers themselves. So the central risk books have continued to play a significant part in liquidity provision in Europe.
Yeah, when it comes to Brexit, Scott, let's talk about Brexit. We've been kind of monitoring the progression and maybe lack thereof, any kind of progress that's coming out of the talks between the EU and the UK. As far as the LSE is concerned, as far as turquoise is concerned, are there any changes that investors and traders, short-term traders, need to be aware of as we approach the deadline, as you mentioned?
Yeah, well, as you can see from the dark lines under the eyes, there's been a lot of late nights and a lot of work has gone in from the team on making sure that London Stock Exchange turquoise is ready for Brexit. So come January the 4th, which will be the first day post-transition period, there will be, perhaps, you could consider the first time in anybody's professional lifetime, a wholesale shift in liquidity. And we are expecting, anecdotally, we're hearing from our clients, but we're expecting to see a shift of liquidity for EU ISINs, non-denominated in GBP, to shift to European venues because of the European share trading obligation, which states that an EU, fundamentally, an EU ISIN must be traded on an EU venue. So in preparation, Turquoise has launched successfully at the end of November, Turquoise Europe, which will be based in Amsterdam and regulated by the AFM, the Dutch regulator. And all European ISINs will be available to trade on Turquoise Europe. Now, other alternative venues based in the UK have also opened European entities, MTFs, in order to facilitate that trading. But a lot of work has gone into play to make sure that clients are successfully papered and onboarded and technically ready to trade on these European venues. Now, importantly to your question, we are trying to make this lift as seamless as possible. So all of the functionality that clients have currently with, for example, Turquoise in the UK, to trade both lit, dark, and periodics, is available in Turquoise Europe. So the lift and the smart order routing functionality required should not be too onerous, we hope anyway. So the venue is ready. We are ready to receive business if people are looking to make that wholesale shift in liquidity for EU ISINs, non-GBP denominated, over to European venues. We have Turquoise Europe. Now, we expect that could be as much as 75+% of the volume traded on Turquoise currently, and to be honest, the same across other UK venues trading pan-European. That sort of magnitude is the sort of wholesale shift we are potentially going to witness in January the 4th. Now, London Stock Exchange, of course, is not totally unaffected, but we are still going to be the venue of choice for UK securities, and there are only a small number of securities which are potentially affected by the European share trading obligation, which currently are traded in London. There are a small number, about 20 or so ISINs, typically Irish, which we are still working with the issuers to see how we can still provide a service to trade those ISINs in London. But what is a known unknown is that we are, as an industry, expecting some potential further divergence of regulation between the UK regulator, the FCA, and the European regulators in that post-transition period once we do enter that Brexit post-January 1st period. And that may mean some opportunity for liquidity seeking, because as the regulation maybe diverges, the FCA may take a different approach to how it's looking to regulate dark trading, for example. We know about the DVCs, the double volume caps, and how those are calculated. We've heard a lot about large in scale trading on these calls in the past, and the data that's required in order to facilitate and monitor and measure large in scale trading across pan-European venues will not necessarily be available or accessed by the FCA post that Brexit transition period. So we are likely to see divergence of regulation, which could end up with a different liquidity landscape in the UK versus that in Europe. So watch this space, because it is, as I said, very much a known unknown situation. But we are ready and able to facilitate European trading come Brexit.
Yeah, it's an important topic, and for anyone watching the market over there, a must know, because we have to have the ability to plan and be ready for what is to come. And it's just to confirm, January 4th, you said, is the first day?
Monday, January 4th, the first day of trading post-Brexit, correct, yes.
Okay, so now, on top of all of that, we have obviously this COVID-19 issue that remains, and we have to be prepared for what is to come on that front as well. Speaking, just generally here, Scott, as far as volumes are concerned, are we expecting things to increase still going into the new year? How do you see 2021 playing out?
That's a great question and a crystal ball question. What will volumes look like? Now, we saw, as I just said, November saw a sharp circa 34% increase in activity on that positive news of a COVID vaccine. So who knows? Let's see as the vaccines roll out and as we find people maybe are able to open up their businesses again, able to move about and travel, then who knows what that might do for volumes. But I think, to be honest with you, the industry in Europe in particular is all eyes focused on Brexit, all eyes focused on January the 4th, and being able to facilitate accessing quality liquidity for underlying clients. So I think that's the first hurdle and the first challenge that people are looking at. I think, we saw those big swings back in March. We saw those swings back in November. Who knows what may come in January if and as we hope, the transition to a post-transition Brexit period happens smoothly, then we may see confidence in the market and those continued strong volumes that we saw in November.
Great stuff. Scott Bradley, Head of Sales and Business Development for the LSE and Turquoise over in London. Listen, Scott, it's a pleasure as always. Great information. Best of luck going forward when it comes to both Brexit and dealing with this COVID-19 pandemic. Still, stay safe. Happy holidays to you and yours.
Thank you, and likewise.
There we go, guys. A little bit of a look at the LSE. Yeah, important changes if you are an investor or a trader who concentrates on the UK market. Big changes coming up as a part of Brexit into the new year. So hope you learned a little bit there on the LSE. Guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Brendan. And certainly, we always try to educate you guys. And I know we have some viewers that are across the pond. So hopefully that was a good segment for you. Scott is a fantastic resource. He is, to say he's knowledgeable is a bit of an understatement, to say the least. We like to bring these types of guests to you so you can continue your learning. I'm going to hit this graphic because I don't use it very often. Usually around here, someone's going to be kicking butt in. Wow, that's a little bit psychedelic there. Someone's going to be kicking butt in the cannabis space. It's going to be Sean, but I'm looking at All Out on Sundial at VWAP. It just got to that 52, so nice little spike down. It's holding up, and that's great. But I'm all out, and once again, we've slayed the dragon that is Sundial to the south side. Thank you so much. Have we got to 2,000 there? Our new goal's 3, though.
Yeah, we did pretty good there. I don't know if we've hit the hot dog gun yet either, but there goes Palantir, 50 cents in the money finally, ripping to the high side. We still have some on. You guys can see that at the bottom, 25.97 right now as Palantir just continues to go upside. So a couple defends down here, 26 and so. Watch that level as we go. But the day's done, guys. A big show today. Thank you so much. I don't ever stop trading basically, other than when we have meetings. So we'll wait for 26.50 here to go. But I'm still excited. Look at this. Some stacked offers right here on Palantir. So just watch out. We are starting to go a little bit on this name. I do like it. We do like it for some longer term plays as well. But more talk about that tomorrow as we got to wrap this up.
100% there. I don't know if we had too much to show on the earnings board, so I'm not going to, I wouldn't have to jump in. I think it was just CarMax that we're looking forward to. And there is also, actually, there's some lockups that come up this week. I think nothing too big, but Albertson's lockup expires on Wednesday. Before we get out of here, however, there is one thing to do. And before I throw it to Valeria, I put it in the chat. Sean all over Palantir right now. I was just shorting Sundial. Think of that as you go into the holiday week or when things slow down. Stick to what works best for you. There's fantastic opportunities off the open. We had those. But when things calm down a little bit, don't overtrade. Go back to what you do best and put capital towards the things that work for you. But before we run out of here, time to get to Miss V.
Thank you, Neil. And hey, guys, thank you very much for starting this trading week with us. We wish you a great rest of the trading day. We'll see you tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget to subscribe and hit thumbs up. And happy National French Fried Shrimp Day.
Ooh, okay. Otherwise known sometimes as popcorn shrimp. Some nice little breaded shrimp there. We're all over that here. So thank you, Valeria, for that. I like that. Scallops, everything, seafood. Bring it on, guys. Fried lobster as well.
Yes, and usually, actually, you know what? I usually get like scallops or lobster sent from my from my brother who's out on the East Coast, but I don't know if I'll be getting it this year. And we used to do it for Christmas dinner, usually when he sends it. So I don't know if we'll get it. Makes me a little bit disappointed, but I am a seafood lover. Got that West Indian blood. For the entire team, fantastic day to start off this holiday week. It's going to be a good one. For Miss V, for man Sean Katina, I don't know if he's hydrated enough today, but Palantir work will definitely do that to you. For Brennan, fantastic interview as always. I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.